Nation Sports. Let's go. We got some information that we're going to talk about one way or another. We got people talking out. KaVontae Turpin says they have no choice but to use me on offense. Plus more. Let's go. You see, a prize fighter, even when he's down, he's continuing finding ways to throw those hands because he knows that he's a puncher's chance away. The Cowboys must do the same. Continue to throw those blows. Regardless, win, lose, or draw, we're here. Bring it. No doubt. As the room fill up, be sure, and I mean just that, be sure to share this content. Let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Come on. Let's go. Mama said there'll be days just, let's go, like this. If you're new around here, let me know. Come on. Come on.
I want me some glory hole.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Let's go, baby. What's good? Thank y'all so much, man, on this Friday. It's a federal holiday on Monday, so I got a long weekend. So I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend or will enjoy your weekend with me. So we're going to do this the right way. We're going to have a good time today, and we're going to go over some things. Shout out to KaVontae Turpin for speaking up and saying that, hey, they have no choice. They will have no choice but to use me on offense. And I love that mindset because we can clearly see that KaVontae Turpin was not used at all. You know, they scarcely used him. Like, oh, man, maybe he's too fragile. You know, they refused to use that man. They refused to. I was thinking that we was going to go all the way back to 2016, how they were using Lucky Whitehead. You know, y'all remember Lucky? And KaVontae Turpin, I think that he's faster than Lucky, right? I think he would get him about a yard or such, you know, on a 10-yard split or 100-yard or what have you dash. Hey, they didn't even want to use him. So the times that we did get a chance to see him was on a kickoff return, whereas one can argue that he ran into the zone guy or he ran into the kicker or what have you, and the whole game and the outcome could be different or could have been different. Appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. Let's get this room up, y'all. Let's get this room up. I know you guys still, it's the off season, but we got some things we're going to talk about today. So y'all get this room up. I need more than 36 people to jump in before I get going, though. You know, that's just about a lie. Come on, y'all. Y'all come on, jump on in here. What's up with you, TJ? Appreciate you for jumping in, too. Thank you, dog. Appreciate you for being part of this one. But let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's figure this out. All right, so here's my thoughts with all of this. Shout out to you, TJ. And appreciate you for jumping in, by the way. And let me fix this up. Hold on. Got to fix this up just a little bit better. Come on, and rock with me. There we go. Boom. I like that one better. Yeah, appreciate you. Shout out to y'all, man. What's up? What's good? Good morning to you all. Shout out to you, Gilbert. Appreciate you for being part of this one. Shout out to you, Johnson. Thank you for being here as well. All right, so let's get this conversation on. KaVontae Turpin, did he win MVP for the USFL or something like that? And he didn't have a long he didn't have a long offseason because the moment that he finished up his MVP situation, yeah, I like seeing that number now, baby. Yes, indeed. Appreciate you, Constantine Pagos. Appreciate you. Yeah, I like seeing that number go up now. You know? But we going to get about 100 folks up in here at least, you know. At least. I know it's the offseason, but God, dog. As they say, yeah. It is right here. But here's the thing right here. He didn't have a single rest or break, right? He went from a few days, and then the Cowboys called him up, and then we made a whole thing about it. I did a video about it, and he was a guy, when I looked at his tape, I didn't only see him as a kickoff return guy, right? I didn't only see him as a punt return guy. I literally thought that the Cowboys were going to use him as a slot wide receiver. I was looking in from the mindset of maybe another Cole Beasley, maybe how they use Randall Cobb, or maybe at minimum you will use KaVontae Turpin like you've seen out of Lucky Whitehead, somebody that can stretch the field, right, who you still got to, when you look at the tape, respect that 4.2 speed, right? And when I looked at it, I said, all right, cool. Cowboys making some good moves. Now you can look at it like this. Y'all know how I do my positive talk about the offseason. Shout out to my guy, Eastside Harold. He'll be saying, hey, law selling dreams. Yes, if Dr. Martin Luther King can sell dreams, then I can too, right? But I was looking at it from that mindset that the Cowboys would finally utilize KaVontae Turpin or get a speed guy that can take the top off the defense, kind of like a Tyreek Hill, but not with the size. Maybe a Deshaun Jackson. You know, y'all remember him, right? So the Cowboys didn't do none of that. The Cowboys literally saw KaVontae Turpin, did an end around with him one time. He got like 7 or 8 yards and said, you know what? Let's not do that again. And then they did like a crazy play week 1, where they did a hook and lateral, reverse, double reverse, inside, remove, carried it 2. And I said, man, what the world is going on with this team? And they never utilized KaVontae Turpin since then. The one play, I believe, oh my gosh, it was a touchdown where they faked it to him, and he was able to get that touchdown. And we saw a lot of KaVontae Turpin via the preseason, too. He was like a guy that can catch the ball and just make people pay left and right in preseason, right? But as the season went on, he disappeared. It seems as if though he was a stain, but he's all pro, right? First team at that. So when we look at this article, KaVontae Turpin saying goal for 2023, our show, Cowboys, they have no choice but to use me on offense. And this is why I love it, because if we seen KaVontae Turpin at the level and the rate that he played at last year, it can be better. One being he would have a true offseason, right? Anybody want to debate me on that? He would have a true offseason, because remember, he came off the USFL, right? So now he will have a true offseason. He'll have a true determination on what to do on special teams and as well as on the offense. And there will be no option routes for him, no stop routes, no comeback and hitches, because you wouldn't dare put a guy who's 5'6" or 5'7", 150 pounds. He looked like he won 40, right? 150 to 155 pounds, knowing that he's about to get hit. I'm thinking deep overs, drags, bubbles. You know, that's what I'm thinking. End arounds. I'm looking at that. Not double, reverse end arounds. But KaVontae Turpin said that his goal is that, hey, our show, Cowboys, they have no choice, no options, right? No other solutions but to utilize the man. And it's a wonderful article because they go into more and more details about how, you know, the exit meetings and things like that, and how these players are talking about their usage. Now, granted, We've been hit left and right with players not being utilized. Let me say this again. We've been hit left and right with players not being utilized to their capabilities. And it's been going on since 2000 and let's say 7, 8-ish, I recall, who recall Martellus Bennett, right? Who remember him, He was a tight end that the Cowboys drafted, I think in the third, or maybe he could have went in the second round, second, third, or fourth, from Texas A&M. Unbelievable talent, unbelievable potentials, unbelievable skill sets. But since the Cowboys didn't know how to utilize and use him, he was wasted. He was sullied. He tried to talk out and talk about the tape, and it didn't work for him. Then they sent him off. I think he went to the Giants, and then he went to the Chicago Bears. He ended up landing in Green Bay, but he went a lot of places. Do he have a ring, by the way? Y'all help me out. Let me know. Do he have one? But I recall that, man, we was looking back, and we was saying, man, that dude's pretty good now. Horrid for us, good for someone else. We can go down the list because we got lots of guys that was pretty much unusable here, but they go else places. And then, of course, not to be crass, a lot of people, that happens a lot in the NFL, right? Sometimes philosophies just don't mix. And one can argue. Here's my stance from the final word last night. So many people saying, Law, now you Ezekiel Elliott apologist, right? You a Zeke apologist, right? You only blindly looking at this thing like, hey, the Cowboys need to keep Zeke. Well, excuse me. Let me tell you guys the full picture. There was a running back by the name of DeMarco Murray that we didn't use. We didn't figure out. The Cowboys front office, coaching staff, of course, Jason Garrett, he didn't know how to use DeMarco Murray. And, of course, DeMarco had some injuries here and there or what have you, but he flat out didn't know how to use them. He stumbled upon DeMarco Murray. He only had really 2 solid years with us, 2013, right? And they realized, oh, this dude can do this and that, but it was too late to apologize. Too late. It was too late. So they said, okay, let's push everything back and let's start utilizing DeMarco Murray in 2014. Who remember that? Right? So they utilized DeMarco Murray in 2014. He was the end of life of his contract, and we seen that kid, he played basketball with the football, meaning that he fumbled the ball a lot. He did. But he was the offensive player of the year. And we've been chasing that philosophy with the old administration ever since then. The reason why the Cowboys drafted Ezekiel Elliott, because they wanted to get back to 2014. And here's what happened. The offensive player of the year, they said that, you know what? They drafted a Joseph Randle. You guys remember that? They drafted a Joseph Randle, and he said that, hey, in 14, there was a lot of meat left on the bone. He was a skilled running back, catch out of the backfield, can run in between the splits, can bounce on the outside. He had some good bursts, and when times were given to him, everybody like, hey, man, that 21 looking nice. The engine was running, but nobody was behind the wheel with him, though, right? I'm telling you guys this so that you can understand where we're headed. So in 2015, this is what I was trying to tell my dog, Big Game James. They said that, hey, now the running back core will be even better. We got a running back that would not fumble the ball as much, right? And we got a running back that's more elusive. And this offensive line, that's when they was preaching the offensive line, right? They were saying that behind this offensive line, you could put anybody back there. Those were the words. And that's how the hype machine pumped it up. You can put anybody back there. You can put somebody's grandmother back there with one tooth in a wheelchair, and that person will be able to get multiple yards. It's easier said than done, right? So what happened, and I hate that most of my people that's not getting this good information, because I only see a limited amount of people that's watching right now, but they're going to watch it on rewind. Watch. At the end of the video, it'll still be 1,000 views, because here's the truth. Y'all may not want to hear it now, but they went into it because I got the good memory of saying that we can put anybody back there. Anybody. Go get an Alfred Morris. Go get a DeMarco Murray. I mean, what's that guy? Run DMC. What's that guy named? Darren McFadden. Go get Darren McFadden. He had the doggone two-pick legs. Remember that? But what happened, that wasn't the original plan, dare I say. What happened was that they leaned on Joseph Randle, who had so much high promises, high hopes. And then week 2 of the National Football League, the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Tony Romo drops back, ESPN News. There's a whiff on a block. He went to go leak on the edge, and all of a sudden, the quarterback drops back. He was going to throw. Boom! Let me play my taps, you know? And that's the reason why. When you have a situation like you had during that time frame, that's just what it was. You had a running back that was more explosive. Hear me out. You had a running back that was more explosive than DeMarco Murray. You had a running back that can catch out of the backfield better than DeMarco Murray. You had a running back that was cheaper than DeMarco Murray. But you also had a running back that didn't block like DeMarco Murray. And what I'm seeing from you guys is that what you're saying here is that, hey, it don't matter about the running back right now. The running back, you can find any running back. Look at what the Kansas City Chiefs did. You can just find any running back. Look at what other teams have done. Granted, you can do that. But just be sure that when you do that, make sure you replenish, replace, and understand the philosophy within the confines of your offense on how they operate and work. Because one thing you don't want is to go into a system and scheme and go in with the philosophy that, hey, Tony Pollard, we're going to figure out a way to re-sign him only. And we're going to roll into the 2023 season with Tony Pollard and, let's say, Malik Davis. And it's week 2 or week 3. The quarterback drops back. Boom. And we go on doing the same thing over and over and over again. And what I'm trying to say is that even this past season, I want you guys to go back and look at the tape week 1 and let me know who was the running back that was out there on the field that was supposed to block for the quarterback when his thumb got broken. I want you guys to go back and look and revisit those moments because I get it. I understand it. We don't know what past season would look like. And I'm not saying that Tony Pollard is not a solution for this team. And I'm not saying that you don't pay Tony Pollard. And I'm not saying that you dismiss all of the things that you see out of these running backs in this draft. But what I'm saying is that you better make the calculated move and make sure that you replenish before you fool around and have those moments. Everyone have a reason, but results are what matter. It was necessary. It was necessary for the Patriots way back in the days to get a Corey Dillon. Corey Dillon was considered washed. He was considered trash. It was necessary for them to still draft Lawrence Maroney, right? Who remember that? It was necessary. If you go back and look at the Patriots' first 3 Super Bowls, and I'm knowing that that's a whole different era, but it was necessary for them to focus in on the running back to make sure that they can do things correctly. Now, move to this point right here. We can clearly look at what the Philadelphia Eagles done with what they had with Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, as well as Boston Scott or what have you. Terrific, all 3 running backs with similar traits. That is pretty much the new modern day philosophy on how you like to set up your team with the running attack, especially with a quarterback that have some limitations. I'm not talking bad about Jalen Hurts, and I'm not talking bad about Dak Prescott. And matter of fact, one can argue that that was the same philosophy and scheme play for the great legendary. That man that got more Super Bowls than anybody that ever played in the National Football League, Tom Brady. I want you guys to go back and look at the trough of running backs that they had for that team. Unless we're going to adopt that type of philosophy, you better make sure that you got somebody that can stand into the gap, a big boy that can burly and get things done. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if we should go get Josh Allen, middle linebacker. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. We would look into that. Yeah. We want results. 27 years now. Boss in the front of personnel. We don't care about us fans anymore. I feel you, Dallas Sport 1977. I feel you, fam. I feel you. Look at what Green Bay doing with Aaron Jones, the highest paid in CMC, and now is Aaron Jones. Okay, yeah. My thing is, the belief of one running back may be dead, right? May be old, but what I'm saying is with this whole philosophy is that we got to make sure that we cover all of our bases. Cross your T's, dot your I's, but don't get rid of someone without replacing. Let's listen to some of this audio right quick, and I got to put some overtone music over it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll put some safe room. Yeah, we put some safe room music over it, you know. Yeah. That'll work.
Free agent coming off some decisions to make at running back. Tony Pollard is scheduled to become a free agent, coming off surgery for a high ankle sprain, while Ezekiel Elliott could account for over $16 million against the cap if the Cowboys decide to bring him back. Cowboys legend Emmitt Smith says Jerry should run it back. He told Pro Football Talk, I'm keeping both. I may franchise tag Pollard and I may go for a contract restructure with Zeke, but I'm keeping both. And the reason why is because we've got to get Pollard back healthy and we need Zeke. Of course, that is a running back who's talking from a different era when you really did have to pay your running back. I don't know.
All right. Hear ye. I get with what Emmitt Smith is saying. And we're gonna listen to both sides of the debate. But what I want you guys to understand here is that what Emmitt is saying basically, hear me out, put those butter knives down, don't shank me with it. I'm keeping both. He's saying run it back. 21, can you do something for me? That's what he's saying basically. And why is he saying that? Because we are in a pivotal role right now. I know some people will look at this and say, well, Law, you are buying in to what the front office is saying.
21, can you do something for me? Can you talk to the ops next for me? Okay. 21.
what we're saying here and what Emmitt is saying is that there's still a levels of unknown. There's still areas of...
Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns. Things we don't know that we don't know.
And that is what we don't know. We don't know what Pollard is going to look like coming off of that injury. We do know that Bones healed, and he could be running even better than what he was before. What else he said? That we don't know if Pollard can be a 20 to 25 every down back. We don't know that. The other thing is what he's saying. I'm keeping both. I may franchise tag Pollard, and I may go for a contract restructure for Zeke, but I'm keeping both. And the reason why is because we've got to get Pollard back healthy. Now, my thing is with all of this running back situation, we literally seen a guy in the Super Bowl, Pat Mahomes, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time already. You can go ahead and put the gold jacket on the boy, right? He gonna have one of those. And they crafted up plays. But one thing that I don't want you guys to do here is to take what they do from a structure and say, that's the blueprint. 31 other teams don't have Pat Mahomes. Also, 31 other teams don't have EB, Eric Bieniemy. It's amazing that Eric Bieniemy, if you guys are football savants, can you tell me what position Eric Bieniemy played while he was in the National Football League? Can you guys tell me what position did he play? And it's quite frankly to me, it's amazing how he's able to elevate running backs from all skill sets over there. Play calling from all skill set from over there. So what I'm trying to tell y'all, what he did with that guy, Isaiah Pacheco, that's a better way to say it, is unique because he knows the terrain and he's a brilliant play caller. That's not going to happen for everyone. And granted, if you're really thinking about it, ladies and gentlemen, everybody got to understand that these type of things got to be planned out. And on top of that, Travis Kelce is no one to sneeze at. Pat Mahomes is no one to sneeze at. And knowing how to play off of that, because the tight end is equivalent or is the extension of an offensive line. And 9 times out of 10, when you have a guy like EB who's able to skill and scheme and knowing that the offensive line extension, Travis Kelce, is at least is going to account for a linebacker and is going to account for a safety. Those running lanes equivalent to 2. It's going to take away 2. So you're not going to load the box thinking that you can stop the run. You're going to pick your poison. And that is a level of thinking that's beyond what the Cowboys been going through, I would say, in the last 15 to maybe 20 years. We didn't know how to play the linebacker with the tight end and the tight end with the safety with the linebacker similar. We didn't know how to do that, y'all. So what I'm saying is we don't know. Now, granted, here's the truths right here, ladies and gentlemen. Who recall the first Super Bowl that the Kansas City Chiefs won? Let me know who should have won the MVP then in that Super Bowl. Because 2 times that we got a chance to see the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl. The 2 times the running game outperformed the throwing game. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know. Let me know. So, and it's 2 different running backs. 2 different running backs. So what I'm contextualizing here is, yes, you can move on from a running back. You can think about having different running backs into the mix. But dog it, you better have somebody that's keen enough, smart and intellectual enough to know how to utilize their said running backs. Or with a philosophy, an escape. We haven't seen that levels of football in Cowboys country in a long time. Coach Marv with the super chat, the big super chat at that. Slow that super chat down. Jay Lombardi with a super chat. He says, I love Jahmyr Gibbs or Spears for us. Not as a number 1 running back, right? As a guy to come in and be a split back situation. Now, eventually those boys can be a number 1 running back. But when you look at everything for what they bring to the table, you will have to say to yourself, blocking is a major issue, right? When you look at the scouting report. But let's listen to what Coach Marv had to say with this super chat. I appreciate you. Law, when the Cowboys move on from Kellen's system, they had belief of the pieces they had, and they need to add pieces, not total overhaul of pieces. If not, they would have kept Kellen if the players was not there. Emmitt said that last year with the wide receivers. Okay, so let me really read this clearly. Coach Marv, what you saying basically? If you're gonna do the overhaul on the players and get rid of Kellen Moore, you might as well kept Kellen Moore, basically, and get Kellen Moore type of guys in here as it relates to running backs. But no, what he's saying basically, if you're going to get rid of Kellen Moore, meaning that, hey, the pieces that you have some type of belief that you can win with some of the pieces. Now, granted, what I'm saying is with the running back situation and scenario, if you're going to move on from Ezekiel Elliott, just like you moved on from Amari Cooper, for dog sure, you better make sure that you replace. And you better not do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. See, they moved on from Amari Cooper, and they replaced with James Washington, Dennis Houston, Jalen Tolbert. So if you move on from Ezekiel Elliott, just be sure that you replenish. And I think that that's where the debate comes at its strong, at its all-time height. And I appreciate y'all. Kellen Moore hated the run. Yes, he did. He did. He said it himself. The numbers reflect what he said. It do. The numbers reflect what he said. Kellen Moore's system equals identity crisis. Don't y'all know who was the last, I think ranked 30th in running last year? The LA Chargers. Ranked 30th in running last year. Let's see what the LA Chargers is going to do this season. Let's see.
Oh, that you still do. Graz, what can you tell us about Pollard and Zeke for next season?
Pollard's free agent. If they wanted to franchise tag him, that cost will be about $10 million. The situation's complicated by the fact that he suffered a season-ending injury, and they're not sure how healthy he's going to be come the start of the regular season. So they have to assess that and bake that into whatever decision that they make. And you mentioned Ezekiel Elliott's, his cap number is $16 million, $16.7 million next year. They're going to have to knock that down, whether it's via a pay cut or a restructure of some kind. If Ezekiel Elliott wants to be on the team, that's just too high a cap number to carry for a running back in this day and age. No more guaranteed money on that deal, so the team does have some leverage if they want to go to him about a pay cut.
Restructure sounds so much better than a pay cut, doesn't it, Booger? Do you agree with Emmitt that Dallas should bring both guys back, Pollard and Zeke?
Yeah, if they can get them both at a reasonable number. I think Tony Pollard proved that he can be an every down back. He may not be able to carry the football 25 times between the tackles, but he can be their most explosive playmaker. And so, yeah, you need to franchise him. By all accounts, it's a broken bone, bones healed. So I don't think they're overly concerned about that. But as far as Ezekiel Elliott is concerned, they have to figure out a way to lower that salary, i.e. cap number, because in the end, they're not getting enough bang for their buck from Ezekiel Elliott. But for some reason, and this is the thing I don't know, Gross, for some reason, Jerry Jones loves Ezekiel Elliott. Every time he's asked about him, he's like, yeah, Zeke is going to be a Cowboy. Zeke deserves to be a Cowboy. I'm starting to wonder, does Zeke have pictures on Jerry or something? Because not a lot of teams agree with Jerry Jones when it comes to Zeke. I think Zeke right now is someone who, if they could get out under that contract, they would have done it a long time ago.
All right. That's a good analysis there from Booger McFarland. Here's my thing is with this, once again, Cowboy Nation and everyone that's listening. I get with what y'all saying about that. What makes it such a difficult situation, the no trade clause for Ezekiel Elliott contract, the no trade clause for Dak Prescott contract. Those two things make it difficult for anything to be moved, but it makes it a situation whereas you want to go back to the player and say, hey, would you be willing to restructure? Would you be willing to extend? Would you be willing to kick more of this money down the line and we'll give you some upfront money with some concessions up front so that we can help alleviate some of the bleeding? Now, it's up to the player at this point because the player can say, no, I don't want to do that. And then what will happen here is it'll be a hard cut and you will save some money. $6 to maybe was it like $6 to maybe $8 million that you save. But this is a situation that is more of upper management problem, not the doggone player's problem. A contract is a binding agreement between two or more parties, right? So when you look at this situation, they had to agree that they were going to pay this man this amount of money, not based off of, hey, these are the results that you're looking for. Unfortunately, until the NFL start writing contracts with not just incentives in it, or write contracts with accelerations in it and say, all right, well, my guaranteed money will go away if X, Y, Z don't hit, right? Or if this amount of money will disappear and the no trade clause would go away if this happened. Until they start writing languages like that in the contract, they will have to honor said contract. If not, cut the man, cut bait, and then you move on and kick dust down the road, but don't cry about it when things blow back up in your faces. Here's another thing that a lot of people are not looking at. If you had a guy, and I'm going to say this until I'm Cowboys blue in the face. If you had a guy that was on your team in 2015 at the capacity of being a backup quarterback, and then in 2016, he was the backup quarterback to get injured. I'm giving out a real livable, breathable resume. That in 2018, the dude became a quarterback's coach in 2019, that quarterback coach became an offensive coordinator, and you were thinking from your mindset that you drafted a guy that was generational, that had unbelievable talent, skill, accolades, and beyond coming out of the Ohio State, and you thought in your mind that that kid would have been able to keep that pace from a generational talent going on, you had to be out your mind. You know what I mean? You had to. And you were expecting the same result. I think that the people that's holding Ezekiel Elliott accountable are just as insane. Y'all just as foolish and insane as the front office. How do we get to a point whereas we hold Ezekiel Elliott Productions to the fire like that? How do we as fans say that, hey man, he's supposed to be able to do X, Y, and Z better, when we can clearly see, I want somebody to out-debate me on this, that we can clearly see that we've seen a drop in production. And everything that you pair up and marry up with Ezekiel Elliott, comparable to the greats, Barry Sanders, first 88 games. Terrell Davis, first 88 games. Edgerrin James, first 88 games. But now what we do is we remove all of that. We remove all of that and say, it's Ezekiel Elliott. He's 100% of the blame. He's the one washed. He's the one that's trashed. He's the one that's hurting his team. When we clearly give Kellen Moore pass after pass after pass, and now that he's gone, oh yeah, let's get rid of Zeke too, by the way. That's insane. That's flat out insane. Y'all think that Kellen Moore knows the game and understood the game? Don't y'all know that we haven't even seen all of Tony Pollard or what he can do? We haven't seen Tony Pollard being utilized to his max capacity. Why? Because of Kellen Moore. You literally put Tony Pollard on San Fran. Shoot. There'll be people saying, I'll be willing to give 2 first-round picks for him. If you put Ezekiel Elliott, if the Cowboys never had that trade clause on his contract and they traded him to another team, there'll have been people like, hey man, I wish we had Zeke back.
Gross?
Yeah, Zeke's a dirty work guy for them, Booger, right? He blocks he pass protects. He does a lot of things that don't show up in his stat sheets, and I do think Jerry has an appreciation for that.
Say that again one more time, dude. Say it again one more time. Say it again.
Dirty work guy for them, Booger, right? He blocks he pass protects. He does a lot of things that don't show up in his stat sheets, and I do think Jerry has an appreciation for that.
You know, I hate to say it, guys, and I think there should be an exception in the CBA for running backs. They should be paid outside of the salary cap. But I got to say it, as things are now, you never have to pay your running back. It almost never works out. And unless you're talking about a guy who gives you a premium at the position, like Saquon did this year for the Giants when they didn't have anything else, or Christian McCaffrey did for the Niners, putting them over the top. I don't want to.
Let me karate-size him with his own words. Let me just put it like this. Rewind just a little bit.
At the position, like Saquon did this year for the Giants when they didn't have anything else, or Christian.
Now, can y'all tell Max Kellerman to lean forward just a little bit? We're gonna slap him back into reality. Where that slap button? Let's tell him to lean forward just a little bit, y'all. It ain't gonna hurt. Question. Would Saquon Barkley have the same season he had this year if they kept the same offensive coordinator that they had the previous year. I want somebody to out-debate me on that. Would Saquon Barkley be ran and utilized the same without Brian Daboll? Oh! The offensive coordinator matters. Saquon was on a deathbed before the offensive coordinator got there, or the new head coach got there. Somebody that knew how to utilize and use said Saquon Barkley. Come on, y'all. I digress. Law, we have said the same thing about D-Law the last offseason to keep Randy G. D-Law worked with the Cowboys on a contract, and he was a true Pro Bowler last season. Facts, because wanted D-Law. You're right. You're right. You're right. Zach Luna, Turpin is too small. I feel you. I feel you, man. I appreciate you for your support. But I appreciate all of y'all for that. What I'm trying to say here, coaching don't matter. Coaching don't matter. How you utilize and use and set up said plays and formation absolutely matter. C. Hayes, so do you have any tangible evidence with that, C. Hayes? Do you have any tangible evidence with that, C. Hayes? Did you have any, Saquon Barkley, do you have any tangible evidence that all of a sudden he had 1,300 yards, right? All of a sudden he performed better than what he did the previous year. The previous year before that. The previous year before that. Look, let me just pull this up for my guy. Let me pull this up. Saquon was on his deathbed before he was resurrected. Right before he was resurrected. Let's go. 2022, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 295 carries. That put him fourth in the National Football League. Let's see what he did the previous year. Oh, okay. 593 yards. Yeah, he was injured. Okay. 2020, okay, he didn't play. Okay. 2019, 217 attempts. Okay. He still didn't have the year that he had this year. Okay. He went and got resurrected. He went all the way back to rookies Saquon Barkley levels. Rookies Saquon Barkley level. But in between that year until now, he was considered washed. Used up, abused. Man, you just don't know, man, about these running backs. They garbage, man. Because they were saying that before he got injured. I think he got injured in that Cowboys game against Jordan Lewis when he stepped on his leg or what have you. Red Rifle had him at 593 yards. He's been hurt, right? He was healthy again. Yeah. So you believe that Saquon Barkley would have been the same if you put Kellen Moore over there. I got lead on the moon for sale. He'll go ahead and purchase that. And the same could be said. Danny Jones, all of a sudden, he just got better. Danny Jones would have had this type of year regardless of the head coach, by the way, right? Is that the same situation and scenario? Is that the same situation and scenario? But coaching don't matter. Look, Danny Jones and that whole team would have been the same with Jason Garrett that year. If they'd have kept Coach Judge and all of those boys, they would have been the same team. They would have made it to the playoff. They would have won a playoff game, etc. if they kept the same coaching staff. Okay. All right. I believe y'all. I believe y'all. Y'all don't believe that yourselves, you know. Y'all don't, man. Y'all don't. Y'all don't believe it yourselves. And that's just the reality of it. Now, granted, we will have a better situation this year because there's no more Kellen Moore. There's no more. And my whole argument is, dog, make sure that you replenish. Make sure you replace. Even in insurance, they're going to replace a like for a like. That's just how it goes. They're going to replace a like for a like. Being a volume running back becomes a negative. Everything new isn't good. Go back to having the identity. Kellen got here and Zeke declined. Started, but fans ignore the truth to fit whatever they feel. I feel you with that, Mr. Wright. I feel you with that. Let's listen to more what they had to say.
McCaffrey did for the Niners, putting them over the top. I don't want to say they're all the same, right? Because there is a difference. But, man, if you got a good offensive line, you give me a decent back, I'm going to be good. And if you have a bad offensive line, it doesn't really matter who your running back is anyway. You're not going to do much. I hate to say it, but I don't think he got him either. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Zeke, Pollard, I'm sorry. Stability? Eagles center Jason Kelce is undecided on playing in 2023, saying he...
All right, that's the end of that one, though. But I want you guys to just make sure that we evaluating everything equally and making sure. Look, I've literally seen people, and I appreciate you. I don't care who we have. I don't want to go into next season with only a broken leg and a 3-yard average at running back. Remind me of the last season with wide receiver. Yes, indeed, Kennard. Right. And those are things that we have to all consider. One being, if you franchise tag a running back who's coming off 2 years back-to-back injuries and you're expecting him to go into a franchise season, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's what franchise mean. To give me again what you're supposed to bring to the table the previous year. I don't want that. The Cowboys will be better signing a 2 to 3 year deal with Tony Pollard versus that one-time franchise tag. Because what will happen, Tony Pollard might play out of his mind. Next season or this season, basically. And then you back to the table. Hey, man, I don't know. We don't know. We should pay you. And then you'll overpay him. You'll pay him more. Because then you don't want to really franchise tag a running back to back. So then you will overpay him. So at this time, the best option would be only if you franchise tag Tony Pollard and put tenders out there and say, hey, if you pick Tony Pollard up, we want a second and a third, something like that. Or you just let the man walk. You go into this draft and you draft another guy. Those would be the other options there. But you should be looking at Tony Pollard, not just only as a running back, by the way, but looking at him as a slot receiver / running back that can do all things for you. Now, the situation with Ezekiel, the problem is that by the time training camp kickoff or what have you, he will be already healed and you still waiting on Tony Pollard to get out there and you don't know who you got. And let's say, for example, you draft a Gibbs early, and I like Gibbs, or if the only person that will probably be something that the Jones family can sell is Beijing Robinson, but the only problem with that is that the Cowboys back to back been drafting running backs a little too soon, right? You can probably get most of that between a 4th or a 5th round draft pick, right? When I pull up this thing right here and I start saying, okay, where are my tiers at? Maybe Sean Tucker can do that. But Sean Tucker, he's not the best of the blockers out there, right? Maybe, just maybe, Gibbs can be that guy. He ain't the best of the best blocker. And you talking about Zach Charbonnet. You know, you don't know. That's running the ball at that program. UCLA, right? So that ain't like running the ball in the National Football League. So we don't know. It's the area of the unknown. So the best thing that can happen for this team is to go back to the dude that's wearing a gold jacket. Run it back. Keep both of them. I just disagree with the fact that you franchise tag Pollard. You can keep both of those running backs and draft the running back in the 4th or the 5th round. And who will be in the 4th or the 5th round? You will have maybe a Zach Evans. Miller will be there. Tank will be there. Spears will be there. Then you run it back with that. That will be a better solution to me. JD, thank you for your support. Balance, run, pass, offensive teams will fear Zeke again. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can literally go back into this day and re-solidify the offensive line. You playing the West Coast style and scheme. I think that right now, Ezekiel Elliott, right now, or Tony Pollard, both of those boys are better than Christopher Carson. They are better options than Christopher Carson was when that particular scheme was ran over there in Seattle land. So, or even Malik Davis, he's better than, well, I don't know that much. It'd be too much for me to put on the table for that guy. But what I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, don't cut your legs out from under your feet. Law, do you have any other proof to that? We are still paying for La'el Collins. It would have been better to keep La'el Collins. It would have been better to keep La'el Collins. It would have been better to keep La'el Collins. And you go into this particular year before the draft or what have you, and have those options for a team to trade for La'el Collins versus cutting him and getting nothing back in return but some money for us to go pick up some James Washington kids. You know what I mean? Thanks to Law, we're coming up with an actual conversation and not following the trend when it comes to Zeke. It's just what it is. I appreciate you, Mr. Antoine. That's just what I see. It's better. It's better to do that. Eric Gray can work out for us. Chase Brown. We've been talking about those guys. Way in tier 5. We got some day 3 guys that can really work it for us. But I for dog sure won't go in there blindly and say, all right, you know, Kenny McIntosh is going to be our starting running back heading into the year 2023. I'm not fit to do that. No. Kenny is going to be Tony Pollard and Kenny McIntosh. Tony Pollard and Keaton Mitchell. You know, I'm not finna do that. No. And then week 3, week 4 is your quarterback get hit because somebody whiffed on the block. And I know this can be crass because anybody can do that, right? Anybody can miss out on an assignment and on a blocking assignment, and that can happen to anyone. But what I'm saying is just make the calculated risk. Khan said, I like Ray at running back. Yeah. Yeah. But this is not a fight. This is not, hey, I'm right, you wrong. I may be 1,000% wrong, and Law Nation would be here again saying, you know what, I was wrong on that guy, you know. Breaking news, Law Nation was wrong on that guy, right? Yes, indeed. But this is the reverse argument that a lot of people will have, like, about this situation. All right, I know it's Friday, and we had a great time, but let's do this right quick and make it short and sweet, y'all. Make it short and sweet.
Call my phone, hit my line. Only ones who down for line. Keep it super thorough my way on this side. Keep it super thorough my
657-390-7391 is the hotline for your mind. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your opinions. At the end of the day, that's all we have. It's Jerry Jones' team, man. This is Jerry Jones' team.
There is one other participant in the conference.
Ain't nobody else
Please
team.
announce yourself.
So, at the end of the day, it's just what it is. It's Jerry Jones' team. See, he bought the team financially. We only bought in emotionally. That's all we got on it, man. All right, the number is pinned to the top of my YouTube page. 657-390-7391 is the hotline for your mind. And the first person in here, let's get it. She's your queen to be. Queen, you're live, lady.
What's up, Law? What's
Nothing
up,
to it.
Cowboys Nation? How you doing, darling?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Yeah, I called mainly because of the whole conversation about Zeke.
Okay,
I
Zeke.
mean, I had called into another show earlier today, and I ended up just, while I was waiting to be picked up, I ended up just hanging up because I'm sick and tired of arguing with people or having these ludicrous debates with people about the obvious. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even though I have much respect for this podcast that I called into his show, at the same time, I'm looking at, okay, when we had Kellen Moore, Zeke also had Kellen Moore for an offensive coordinator. It wasn't just that. It wasn't just Turpin. It wasn't just the tight ends and CD and all that kind of stuff. Zeke had to deal with the same offensive coordinator who did not know how to properly utilize the people that he was gifted with
Right.
to, utilize in the offense.
Right.
And so, everybody saw or should see how Zeke's production went down when Kellen Moore walked in the door. It's not Zeke's fault. It's not all Zeke's fault. You know what I'm saying? Zeke can call plays. And also, when it comes to Zeke not getting such and such amount of yards or whatever, hell, Kellen Moore, he didn't even know how to set up, make sure that the line was set up properly to
Right.
make open pathways for Zeke to get the production he needed to get. Oh, yeah, he had to set up for Tony, but that's the only thing he really put into place that made sense. Other than that, he just looked at Zeke as a battering ram. Go in there and use your big-ass head and get through that line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He don't have nothing set up for Zeke. And so I don't blame Zeke. And I think Zeke still has a lot left in his tank. Whoever wants to get rid of him is stupid. I mean, I'm not going to call him stupid. They're not informed.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
they're looking at it wrong because, like I said, he had the same offensive coordinator as everybody else. I think we should take time out and look and see how things pan out with Mike McCarthy this year, and then we can say whether or not we made a good decision as to whether or not to, release or, keep Zeke and all that other kind of stuff.
Woo.
I think he's still a very talented and good weapon, and it would be idiotic to let him go at this point. And that's all I got, Law.
No doubt. That's the queen right there. Appreciate her and her commentary over that. Look, and this is, I think that we are all saying the exact same thing, but in different ways. Like, for example, we all been saying the same thing with even Dak Prescott. A lot of people say, he's trash. He can't do this and that, do that. Let's go get another quarterback. Granted, I'm saying the same thing, but it's just coming off differently. Yes, if you don't like the quarterback, draft one every year, right? See if you can leave no stone unturned, right? But the same thing with the running back situation. If you don't like Zeke, then yes, start leaving no stone unturned. Make sure that you find a running back to replace said Zeke. But at the time, right now, just to get rid of him for the money don't make a lot of sense. But why? Because the Cowboys don't know what to do with the money, even when they had the money. So what I'm saying is the same thing. The same people that say, hey, Cooper Rush is greater than Dak Prescott are the same people are believing that Malik Davis is better than doggone Zeke, right? So temper your expectations. Understand that football is chess, not checkers, and make sure that we have an identity and a plan. Look, we literally seen a team that will roll out there with 4 tight end sets. Everybody was saying, man, phenomenal. Man, it's unstoppable. And then for the next week, we don't ever see it again. It's gone. The 4 tight end set is gone. And now we've been sitting there like, hey, I thought it was unstoppable. Yes, it was unstoppable. The person with the clipboard stopped it, and now we don't even know. We don't even know what this team is really capable of if they stuck to their identity. Look, don't y'all know, in that same game, they lined up 13 personnel. They went big package again. And then they put the ball right in the belly of Ezekiel Elliott. Walk right in there untouched. All of y'all just sitting here right now, all of y'all jumped up and celebrated. Y'all wasn't calling him washed then. You know what I mean? Y'all was all celebrating. So what I'm trying to say is we can literally see this team go from brilliant one week and then just get rid of it the next week. Yeah, it was 4 tight ends. It was nice, man, that day. I got Coach Marv from the 803. You're live, Chief. Talk to me.
What's going on, man? How you doing, man? I got this.
I appreciate you.
4 points about this.
Mm-hmm.
I put in a super chat earlier,
and I thank you for that super chat. By the way, appreciate you.
If they believe, when you have an organization and you believe in your players, you change coaches. When you don't believe in your players, when you don't believe in your players, you add more players and you allow coaches to coach. That's one point. Second point, the same thing was said about D-Law last year. We thought he was washed. D-Law came in and said, as he's in Ezekiel Elliott's part right down to say, okay, I can't get $17
It was a good day for the Cowboys.
A year. I'll redo my contract. I'll cut it down to $10 million a year. We could do another contract to keep Randy Gregory.
Mm-hmm.
They had Randy Gregory signed, but, that faltered. But he came in as well as because Dan Quinn wanted D-Law, and D-Law had an outstanding year this year. Played hurt, played whatever, did outstanding. I would wonder how we would have been without D-Law this year on the defense for the multitude of plays. But a lot of those were not splash plays, but if you know football, you know he had a great year. Well, now we at Zeke. Now, just think about it in this case, Law. This is an argument we have to have.
Right.
The ultimate decision on this is Mike McCarthy's wheel to drive now, offense to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And if he is the one that has to make the decision about what he wants with this running back room, if he feels that, hey, that the best quality guys I have there, add another little piece to it, but I can get more production out of this running back crew with my offensive philosophy, then we could have got out of it with Kellen to get us over the top. This is what, if you're going to get him the keys to drive, you're not going to get him the keys to drive and then say, okay, we're going to clear the running back room. We're going to go with what ifs in the running back room. Because if it doesn't work, people, with drafting, we get rid of the running back room, where else will you go? Now we back to pass happy because you can't go no other way. So, to make your quarterback the best, it has been documented over and over that the running game is a great comp to making your quarterback a elite quarterback. But without it, you will have some hiccups. But I'll tell you this, it's still going to come down to Zeke saying how much he wants to be here. It's still going to come down, we need to draft a running back. But it's still going to come down to that point of what McCarthy feels he wants this offense to go and his philosophy. And if you're going to give him the keys to the offense, because you got to Kellen Moore out the room, you got to give him what he wants. So if he comes in and say, well, now let's go young, then you give him that key. If he say, hey, let's try to work something out, I want Pollard here, I can make them better, I can give them more than 70. Lord, you know, we got our running backs only got 70 targets in the passing game the whole season. 70 targets.
Yep.
Where Tampa Bay running backs caught 50 passes apiece, and we only target our running back 70 times the whole season.
Yeah.
So this will come down to McCarthy, and I believe McCarthy, I'm going to give faith in McCarthy. I'm going to believe when he went into that room and said, hey, I can do better with this offense and add me a couple of pieces, I know he knows that these two running backs gave him 1,900 yards, 300, 400 yards in pass receiving, and 24 touchdowns. And I will guarantee you, you're going to be hard-pressed with rookies or anybody else to compete with 1,900 rushing yards, 24 touchdowns, and 400 yards reception. That's not going to be replaced easy.
It's not going to be easily replaced, but I get it. Like when a lot of people say, well, Zeke had a phenomenal year, his rookie year. And we had some other things to people to say that, hey, Zeke had this going on his rookie year. Granted, those things are true. But what I'm saying is that you got to make sure that whoever you replace, that they can hold the whole thing for 17 weeks and be able to keep your quarterback upright and to fit well within the confines of this system. But I get what people are saying. Go ahead, talk to me.
Let me say something right quick when people say, well, you know, Zeke was a rookie and look what he done. But Zeke was a third or fourth round, first round pick. You ain't going to find that too often in the third and fourth round. We got to get what Zeke was when he came out of college. Now, if you want to get that type of guy, if that type of guy's on the board, yeah, I'll go with that line. But to get that type of production, Zeke, when he came out, he was a first-round no-brainer.
Right. Well, we'll find out, Coach Marv, man.
Hey, Long, that's quick. Mm-hmm. One quick, I wanted to say this right quick. Great job by the Kansas City drafted the guy. You know, a lot of people say, man, Kansas City did with a 7th-round draft pick. But you know something? They had Clay Isaiah, what got his name, the guy at LSU. They had veteran running backs already in the fold. Yeah. They drafted that guy on a talent thing. And then they said, when I had injuries, we gradually moved him in, and he kept on working well, and he panned out at the end of the season. But they didn't draft him right off the bat to be the number one running back.
Yeah, that's two different worlds. When you are drafted to be the one, and when you're drafted to say, "Hey, I'm just glad that I got a chance to be the one." So that's two different worlds. I feel you for that. Appreciate you, Coach Marv.
Great job as always, brother. Keep on pushing.
No doubt, man. That's Coach Marv, y'all. That's Coach Marv. Appreciate him. And this is not Law versus Big Game James, right? Because overall, I think that me and Big Game James, we are on the same page. We're just saying it differently. Like James want to get rid of him now, right? Move on from him now. And what I'm saying is, and to the panel from last night, is, hey, just be sure you replenish. Be sure that you know what you're doing. And understand that if you don't, you're going to have to suffer the consequences. There's going to be somebody. Look, running backs, people will say come a dime a dozen, right? But shoo, you better make sure you hit on that dime. And running backs, to be fair to the modern day trend, just to be fair, after that third and fourth year, yeah, you should be looking to get rid of. Sean Alexander only had a couple of good years, right? Terrell Davis, a couple of good years, up to his 6th or 7th year, then he disappeared, right? So I'm saying the same thing, but what I'm saying is for this year, for the start, just like what Coach Marv just said, Isaiah didn't start week 1, week 2, and was killing it. Y'all get what I'm saying, though. Let's see who we got here. Let's do this. We got a lot of people here. Thank y'all so much. I got Edward from the 337. You're live, fam.
What's up, Lord? How y'all doing?
Man, doing well, fam. Talk to me.
This is a big dilemma, Lord, because I feel, the way I see it, Zeke, we have to do something about his money.
Right.
Now, I feel like, hey, if he, I don't count no man pocket, but if we want to add on and create a little more power to this team, we need to do something about his money. But the bad thing, we know who's our owners. We can probably cut Zeke and have all his money and they won't do nothing with it.
Right. I feel you on that.
You know, so how about if they do cut Zeke, why don't we just get a veteran and we draft another rookie, a rookie running back?
Say this again.
Wait, I'm sorry. Let me rescind this. If we cannot come up to an agreement with Zeke on his pay cut, then I see that. I love him.
Right. I feel you. I feel most people do. Yeah.
You know, if anything, you may call me crazy. If I had, at one time, if I had a choice, Zeke or Dak, I'd cut Dak before I cut Zeke. That's just how much I love Zeke.
Right, I feel you.
But I want to win too. I'm tired. I'm tired of, I'm the laughing stock of my family. All my family's Saints fans.
Well, here's the truth right here, and I get what you said. Zeke got paid twice before Dak Prescott, right? He got his rookie contract, who's getting paid millions of dollars. Dak was still getting paid $800,000 at the time. And then when he got paid again, Rocky Arsenal, he saw it. He's like, shoot, let me get in front of the money again. And he got paid again, a big, massive $90 million guaranteed money contract. And I get it. So the Cowboys pretty much looked at it and said the same thing. They would prefer to have Zeke over Dak at that time because, you run the ball, you control the clock, you can get things going. The problem is with all of this is now everything is at its top. These two guys in the contract, they both got no trade clauses, right? And they both cost the team a lot of money. So do you get from up under it now and bring in someone new and have more money? Or do you say, okay, I'm going to keep the continuity going just for right now until we figure out what's the world is going to go along with Tony Pollard? Because those are areas that we don't know. We can lean into the 2023 season with the unknown of drafting the running back and saying, okay, look at around the league, look what they're doing. Or you can keep it what you got. That is a dilemma.
Very much so.
It's a dilemma right there. And all we can do is talk about it.
I wish we could do something about it, but you're right. All we can do is
talk about it. And my stance is I don't want 2015 to happen again.
Right.
That's my stance. And that's just how it is. Because we were what? We had the quarterback, we had the better defense, And then we had the running back who whiffed on the block to get your quarterback gone, and we was chasing the quarterback. We were chasing who else can fit right on in. We had the best offensive line in that year with multiple running backs, but we didn't have things to match. So it's just one of those things, fam. I appreciate you so much for calling in and being who you are, Ed.
Yes, sir. In love, I want to tell you, bro, you do a wonderful job. And personally, you make my day, man.
Oh, man, I appreciate it.
Football season is over. Since I started listening to you, after football season, it's nothing for me. But now you give me life for the next year. Thank you so much.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you so much, man. It's a good call from Ed. And this is a healthy debate, man. It's not that bad. Kai says 2015 McFadden Zeke. And it could be a horrible situation, but 2015 offensive line was dope. We didn't have no questions about our guard at that time, right? You know, and we had a healthy Travis Frederick, a healthy Zach Martin. You had a Tyron Smith who was pretty much decent that year too, and we was ranked 3rd in rushing that year. We just didn't have things to match. If you put a healthy Tony Romo on that team, right? Who knows what would have happened? I think we still had Doug Free at right tackle. That was the only problem. Doug Free at right tackle, and on top of that, we had if you run it back with DeMarco Murray in 2015, maybe just maybe the results would have been different, right? All right, man, let's go. I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. All right, I got Trey from the 901. You're live.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Yeah, I just want everybody to know that Zeke still got plenty of gas left in him. Y'all act like Zeke 38 years old or in his 30s. He ain't even reached 29 yet. So here's the thing. We know Kellen Moore did not utilize our players like they should have.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, when we saw Turpin when he first got in, when we saw him, we should have known right then and there, okay, we can see how fast this young man is. He don't need to be no punt return. Utilize your weapons, what you have. That boy supposed to be somewhere running the ball somewhere, not going up the field, but down the field, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So, again, he also, Kellen Moore just, like we do good one game, to prove to the point, it was him with the inconsistency. Okay, we go and play one game. Okay, we barely won. Maybe we came out with a field goal. Then the next game we play, we go blow a team out 40-3.
Right.
Then the next time we come back, okay, them same people who got all them scores on that 40-3 game,
right,
they didn't even get 60 yards. It's not the team, it's Kellen Moore, and everybody gonna see it when he get over there where he going, because he gonna try to run that same stuff over there, and they gonna let him know, hold on, because that's how they know how to play us. You do the same thing, Kellen. Anything that's working well, you changes it every time. Like you're bipolar. Like, okay, this is working too well. Let me not do this. So it's nothing wrong with Zeke. If everybody can remember, when the season started, when Cooper Rush had to be, Zeke got all the touchdowns. 1 yard, 2 yards, 10 yards. Him and Pollard was going head up. Then when that came back, same thing was happening. And then all of a sudden it came into a halt.
Yeah,
now,
I think that Detroit Lions game kind of muddied the waters. But, you know, I feel with what you're saying, and this is the thing, that we are at that crossroad, you know. Do you move on from what you have, or do you believe that what you have is something that can really keep you afloat if you just change the philosophy on how we run? And too many times, 21 slam. We ran 21 slam. Too many times I've seen us get too cute with taking the tight ends off the field and you moving the doggone offensive lineman as a fullback. Too many times that we've seen that, and we think what's creative is wise, but no, it's just you creatively stupid. You know what I mean? Right. Like, come on, y'all. We haven't seen no consistency. Yeah.
And if you see it, everybody, that's why I'm mad at people. in here talking about how Zeke needs to go and he washed out. He can't see the holes anymore and this, that, and the third. No. Zeke still got it. It's Kellen Moore running. Okay, then you get one play, you turn around. Okay, they got Zeke blocking for that. When a big old hole was right there, he could have ran straight through it. You feel me? It be the plays. He do stuff backwards, bro. Like, why did you? Okay, and then now you got one play you throwing it to. You supposed to throw it to Zeke because he wide open. You trying to give it to C.D. Lamb, and he got 19 other jerseys around him.
Right.
Again.
Right.
It has nothing to do with Dak misfiring or Zeke ain't doing what he supposed to do or CD ain't where he supposed to be at. It's the play calling. Now you're trying to hurry up and do this. It's all screwed up because that ain't what the call Dak just called. They go in a huddle. They just called the play.
No
Why
doubt.
it didn't work out.
Man,
So
it's going to be something we're going to revisit. Leave Zeke alone. I feel you. Appreciate you, Trey. Thank you so much. Good call from her. And look, we're going to lock the lines, but I appreciate y'all so much.
The conference has been locked.
We got a lot of people in here. I got Bro J, you're live, and then Noah, you're next. Bro J, you're live from the 510 UN.
What's going on? Good morning, everyone. What's up to my Cowboys fan? What's happening? Everyone be blessed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my opinion this morning. Well, let me ask before I tell my opinion. Why do we keep Zeke? Why? Just why? That's it. I just want to know why.
Why to keep Zeke?
Yes.
Because
why?
Here's the reason why. There's the unknown. We don't know what Tony Pollard looked like with 25 or more attempts, and then on top of that, to add into the fact we haven't seen Tony Pollard play healthy for the full 2 years in a row. We haven't seen him play healthy. He got knick-knacked at the latter part of the year, last 2 years, right? So I'm just looking at it like that. On top of that, that is the main number one reason, because of the levels of consistency that you would at least get with Ezekiel Elliott. You know what he plays like injured. You know what he played like when he's healthy. So that would be the number one reason to keep him. Now, the reason to get rid of him, of course, is because of the money.
Yeah, that's my opinion. That's the biggest thing right there is the money,
right?
The cap hit. But you know, we had a nice run with him. You know, seven years. That's a pretty long time for him.
It is. There's a run.
You know,
most long
running backs only last 3 or 4 years at a top efficient level,
right?
Elite level. He was at. We got what we drafted. We got exactly what we wanted. We went past, got more than we expected. This is a long time for running back to be playing, especially at this time and age when the guys are much bigger, much faster, much stronger than they were back in the 90s when Emmitt was playing. So see a running back to have an elite 3 years, you got what you drafted. 7 years, for me, I think it's time to move on. Just from the eye test of watching him on film and watching him in the games, he's not the same. It's just my opinion. Everyone be mad at me. It's just my opinion. I don't care. But yeah, I would move on from him unless he's willing to take a big pay cut. I get him.
Who do you move on from him with, though? Who's your options?
Oh, you move on with him. You draft another running back. I'm pretty sure we can get someone at the same level that he's at right now, because he's not the.
Who would that be? Who would that be? You the general manager right now. Who do you got as your running back now to replace
right now?
Zeke?
Of course, you're going to have Pollard and Davis. To me,
Pollard.
Davis, he reminds me. He's not at the Emmitt Smith, but he reminds me a lot of Emmitt. The way he's built, the way he kind of runs, he reminds me a lot of Emmitt. I'm not saying he's Emmitt, but he just reminds me of Emmitt, the way he runs, the way he's built. So to be Pollard and Davis, and I'll draft another running back. That's my thing. Because my thing is,
You got to pay Pollard though. You got to pay Pollard. So.
Yeah, matter of fact, because he's hurt, and we're not sure. I think the tags are the right thing. This is kind of like a prove it year. So, if he can still do the same thing that he did this year, then you give him another a 3-year deal after the tag. And I'm looking at the stats. I'm looking at the eye stat. Pollard did more than Zeke with less. Zeke, when you look at their attempts and carries for the 2022 season, he's had 2 full games more touches than Pollard, and still didn't get 1,000 yards. So
what happened to Tony Pollard in that? What happened to Tony Pollard in that Washington game, the first one?
The first one, I don't remember.
What week was that?
I just know.
What week was that
early
in the chat?
I think it was Cooper Rush was the quarterback at that time. So yeah, I'm not sure what I can't remember, but I don't remember any of them doing anything in that game.
Right. So what if that's all you get from Tony Pollard? From a standpoint where you asking that brother to block and you asking him to do more. You know, there was a situation whereas it was week 2. Was it week 2, y'all? No, it couldn't have been week 2. Tony Pollard in that.
Well, I know neither one of them.
Nobody looked good. He averaged 1.8 yards per toe. You know, but what I'm saying is that just be careful what you're asking for, because now what you're saying is you're gonna take Tony Pollard and make him a every down back when he's never been proven that he can do such.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would split the touches between exactly how they did it this year, but I just put Davis in Zeke's spot and just give Pollard a little bit more touches, but a little bit more through the air than on the ground.
And what did Malik Davis do in the playoff game?
He didn't get any game.
He wasn't even given an opportunity.
For what reason, I don't know.
So we still don't know who Malik Davis is on a down out in every down game. We don't know. It's still the area of the unknowns. There's people.
Well, he needs to take that. He needs to take that visor off his helmet because he can't see the holes or something, man. Because there's a lot of times when they show the replay again, like, man, why did he just run into the wall? There was a hole. All he had to do is step 1 foot to the right, and boom, he could have had like an easy 5 yards without being touched. I don't understand why he's doing that. He's not patient. He doesn't wait for the blockers when they do pulling plays. He kind of just runs and forgets about, hey man, you gotta set up your run. I played running back. I mean, I didn't get very far,
right.
But I know what what you're supposed to do. I see what the running back is supposed to see. He ain't.
Right.
He's not seeing it. Pretty much, we're paying for a glorified blocker. That's what we're paying for.
Well,
if we could keep him at $6 million year deal, hey, I keep him.
I think that his representatives are saying the same thing too. They need to figure out the value. Yeah, bro, G. I think that their representative is saying the same thing. They're trying to figure out what's the value of Ezekiel Elliott based off the combine, right? And if they don't agree with the amount of money that's going to be cut from him, then they're going to say, hey, well, allow my client to just walk. Yeah, right? So that's what we all waiting for. But I'm just trying to say here is that the Cowboys better make sure they know what they're doing. Because that was the same battle cry where we can get rid of Amari Cooper and we can put James Washington in and he will have a better situation, as well as with a more role for my guy MG13, and we would have the same results, and that wasn't the case. We struggled at wide receiver. We did this past season, which equated to more and more turnovers, more and more people guessing out there on the field. And if you have a rookie that's going to be out there on the field, 9 times out of 10, it could be the same thing. Fumbles, it could be misreads, it could be misassignments and things like that. That's all I'm saying. So you just got to make sure you know what you're doing as it relates to that. Thank you so much, bro.
We keep right on, man. But I'm not upset if we keep him or get rid of him. No, it doesn't. No, he's not sorry. But hey, that's just my opinion. Right. All right, Law.
No doubt.
Everyone have a blessed day.
That's I got Bro G, man. All right, so you guys get what I'm saying. And at this point, we all got only opinions. We only got opinions. As somebody said, hey, running backs and wide receivers are different. Yeah, they are. But blocking and assignments are as well. OG, it's simple to me. Without a good restructure deal, Zeke has to go. But we have to replace his talent and skill set. Hey, that's to sum it up. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. But Law, anybody can get 12 touchdowns. Or everybody getting 12 touchdowns out of a year. Anybody could have got those 12 touchdowns. Well, who are? What's the rookie touchdown totals for this year? Which rookie had 12 touchdowns? Would there be some type of top rookie record to have 12 touchdowns in their rookie season? If anybody can do it, why are we not seeing that every year in and year out? You can't find a fullback to do Zeke's job better for less. This is from Sam. You maybe can. I got my guy Noah from the 469. What's on your mind?
Yo, what's up? How you doing, Law?
Nothing to it, man. Talk to me, Noah. It's Noah Brown, baby. Yeah, this is Noah Brown. I just played.
You already know. Man, I'm tell you why I'm getting heated. Let me tell you why.
Don't get mad at me, man.
No, I'm not you. As I'm listening to some of these guys saying how Zeke can't see the hole. Do you know what I'm doing while I'm waiting on the call? On my other tab, I got the highlights and all of some of his good runs for the year. I have that up on my other tab, and it looks like he can see them damn holes real good to me. The way he cutting from behind the offensive lineman to get to another gap to get 6 yards, not 2, not 3. You know what I'm saying? I know it was times where he couldn't run the ball well. It seemed like people hung over the playoff game when he didn't perform very well. But throughout the year, if you take the dollar amount off of Zeke's name and you just watch this boy highlights, he looked good as advertised as any running back in the league. And I'll be afraid to see that guy that I'm watching right now on my other tab on the opposing team going against us. Because he's still explosive. Yes, I know he's not the same explosive Zeke that he used to be, but compared to some of these other running backs in the league, he's still way more capable of getting the job done than those guys. You know what I'm saying? And that man, it's in there pissing me off that people think Zeke is washed. He's not washed. He's just, he's kind of downgraded from what he was as a rookie. Who wouldn't be? Everybody play the same as their not latter years, their younger years. You're gonna lose a little step considering a knee injury. Coming back from that, I'm sure he probably still was dealing with that throughout the year. Let's see what see what he can do over this off season with some I guess some more training on that knee and nutrition regimens to keep that knee healthy, because he don't look slow. He can still move side to side and get 2 or 3 yards on the 3rd and 2, forcefully when he needs to. And I mean, I know I've seen it, but Pollard don't have that strength. You don't get rid of Zeke. I think it's the people watching his pockets too much.
I think the money is in the way right now, and then of course coming off of the expectations, right? You want to look. The Cowboys literally this is what they want. They want Pat Mahomes numbers, right, from the quarterback, and they want They want Derrick Henry numbers from the running back. They want both of those at the same time, and not understanding that one guy you're gonna have either or. You know what I mean? You're not gonna have both. So I get it. I understand what most people are looking at. But I'm looking at it from this aspect. Zeke, he may not have never be the running back he was in 2016, which is clearly evidence, right? But on the same flip side, having these same expectations year in and year out is just insane, because you are, for once and foremost, you're splitting reps, right? And you got a guy who just learned how to call plays for running. Just learn. There's people literally watching. I'm in my 40s. I know for sure that when you start talking about equivalencies of Kellen Moore knowledge of football collectively in a run game situation, he's not there. So people were expecting Kellen Moore to go into this lab and go into his bag to dial up running plays. Is insane to me. It's insane. That's why Tony Pollard flourished a little bit more, because he was utilized from a style and caliber that fit Kellen Moore better. But that's a story of another day. Keep going, fam. One more piece.
All right, and also, it wasn't a call today. I think it was. I don't know. It could have been yesterday or another day. Somebody was saying how Zeke he wouldn't be able to catch the ball and run out of the West Coast or something like that. Well, I just seen the play. Dak was under distress, but not that much. It was 3rd and 15. He dumped it to Zeke, probably a yard or two in the backfield, and Zeke was able to get technically 15 yards and ended up being a 4th and 1 on the 3rd and 16. So I'm like, if that was on the 2nd down and he got those 15 yards, I think we would have been in a favorable position for the next play for him to pound it for 1 or 2 yards.
Yeah.
So me seeing he was able to get 14 yards on a dump pass.
You know what? I'll go all the way back.
How often did we do that? We didn't do that throughout the year. I used to do that. I used to have my son. My son used to ask me, Daddy, why we don't pass the ball to Zeke more? Zeke was open. When nobody over there by him, I'm like, I don't know, son. That wasn't the play calls. Dak has to go through his reads, even though Zeke is sitting right there wide open.
Yeah. You're right on that, man.
It could have been a lot better than what they were for the season. What you just said, if the play calling was tweaked and it was different play designs. If you get different play designs, Zeke gonna look better, his numbers gonna look better, and also the fact that he is splitting it with Pollard is gonna take away from his production. Come on, y'all gotta see that.
If this team want to do something,
when you agree, even with Pollard, we never see the fullness of Pollard if he's splitting with Zeke or any other back we bring in here, whether it's a rookie, somebody from the free agency, whoever you bring here, you'll never see the full potential if you splitting carries. But at least we have 2 good quality backs that do their job well, and it's a change of pace, which I believe it helped to keep the opposing team on their toes.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you for calling in, Noah. Thank you, man. You have a good one.
All right.
Enjoy your Friday.
All right, you too.
Good points, man. And that is what I believe with Emmitt Smith. And I want to do a poll right quick. If you guys believe in the philosophy of Emmitt Smith, just put 22 in the chat. And if you don't, just put no. Put N22. You know what I'm saying? If you agree, just put 22 in the chat. And the philosophy is this right here. He said he'll keep both of the guys, Pollard and Zeke. And what I'm trying to say here is, would we been better, and I know hindsight is 2020, right? Would the Cowboys been better in 2015 if they kept DeMarco Murray and Randall, right? If they'd have kept 29 and 21, right? Instead of just leaning on 21. The same, and now, granted, I truly believe Tony Pollard is a whole lot better than Joseph Randall. I'm not saying that he's not, but I'm just thinking that, shoot, DeMarco Murray and Darren McFadden would have been good. But what I'm saying here is you just got to make sure when you go into this draft, you got to figure out a way. If you're moving on from Zeke, just be sure that you replace said guy. All right, let's go with my guy, 843, Antoine Myers. Then we got Brandon, and then we have Miles from the 409. All right, so Antoine, you're live from the 843.
What's going on, Law?
Nothing to it, Chief. Talk to me, man.
Listen, I ain't arguing with nobody, but man, when we got Mike McCarthy, I think it was like two years ago. I talked to you. You want to see Mike McCarthy call plays with the running back, because Mike McCarthy never really had the style of running back we had. He had an Eddie Lacy.
Yep.
He did good with him. We wanted to see Mike McCarthy with Ezekiel Elliott, and we never got a chance to see that. We got to see Kellen Moore with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard.
Right.
And now, and people talking about since 2016, who would you say was the best running back that's still in the game right now out of Ezekiel Elliott and Derrick Henry?
In 2016, yes, it was Ezekiel Elliott, all hands down. Henry.
Now you look at their career stats; they neck to neck, but they calling Zeke trash. Their stats are just the same. Yeah, now the stats may be the same now, but now what happened here? This dude, Derrick Henry, explosive just by himself now. And I get it, right? Just different. It's so hard to compare those two
because if I had a coach, right, and you looking at the old school philosophy coaching style that they have over there in Tennessee versus Kellen Moore on his offense, that's like night and day. It's not even the same. So as far as run scheme and philosophy is totally different. They have they have a scheme and a system there, and we had a collections of plays here. So that's not the same for people to look at Henry's stat line and then to look at Ezekiel's stat line and say, look, Henry is better. Yeah, we can see that Henry is more explosive and he do things good over there, but that have to also include the fact that they have a scheme and a philosophy there. But go ahead.
There you go. And like that's what I'm saying. I'm a big Zeke fan out there. I want him to take a restructure or take a just to help the team out. But to call him trash and to go all these different places with him is crazy. Because obviously you're not watching the film, or you just hate the man because of the money. Because for you to say he's trash, what's Kellen Moore, what we was doing, you obviously don't watch film. Now I was talking with my coach, my high school coach, Chuck Reedy. He was the head coach at Baylor, assistant coach at Clemson. And he's saying the exact same thing, so somebody else got to be wrong.
Somebody got to be wrong, man. Look, just put some schemes around this dude. Let's see what we can do. Now, granted, if he's not willing to take the pay cut, then of course it's casualty, it's cap casualty. You cut him and then you move on from him. But I don't want to hear a word from people to say, man, come on, man, next season when somebody missed a block coming through the B or the A gap, right? And that's what happened week 1 too, by the way.
And one last thing,
talk to me.
Everybody was talking about cut Zeke. Okay, we got rid of Amari Cooper, and who filled this spot? Mm-hmm. Michael Gallup coming off an injury. Mm-hmm. TP's coming off an injury too. Mm-hmm. Do we know what he looked like? We don't. Yeah. That's what I got.
No doubt, man. That's a good call from him. Even the kid from like a production scheme. What's that dude name? Good guy from Detroit. He had a lot of touchdowns in the red zone, money zone. What's his name? Williams. What was his name? Y'all help me out. And people will argue and say, hey, you add him, he can be that Zeke role, right? Keep Tony Pollard. You can add him. What's his name? The guy that DeMarcus Lawrence popped and that ball came out. You need somebody to hold on. Jamal Williams, we go get a Jamal Williams and Tony Pollard, right? He give you the same thing that Zeke was giving you, right? Right? Because he led the league, I believe, in touchdowns in the red zone. Zeke ain't fumbling that ball. That's just what I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Jamal. Was it Jamal? I could be wrong on the play. It could be somebody else that was fumbling that ball. Shoot, but we'll find out, man, which direction the Cowboys will decide to go. All right, I got from the 815, Brandon, you're live.
I think they said that was Jamal Williams' only fumble of his career. I think actually I would swap him out for Zeke right now.
You would do that right now? Okay.
Right now, it's not even y'all doing a lot of capping right now, but yeah, I'll trade him for Zeke right now. Tony Pollard said he asked all the Dak fans he wishes he could be defended like y'all defend Dak, because man, all the crap that y'all made, y'all really never see Tony Pollard have 40 but really never see. Man, woo, I wish he could get the defense that y'all give for that. Anyway, nobody, I don't think nobody is saying that Zeke is washed, but it's time, bro.
It's the money. I think people are upset with the money. So my thing is, you said you would take Williams right now in a heartbeat, but at what price? That determines everything. So what they're saying is,
of course it got to be team friendly.
Of course it got to be team friendly.
That's the problem with Zeke.
Right.
And I'm glad you said that. Now that gives me to my other point. If you're a real Cowboy fan, you should know this. The Jones family makes they make football decisions that has nothing to do with football. So as soon as you guys understand and realize that I think you will move better, because the same logic that y'all trying that I hear, and it sounds like law is somewhat tagging on to that, but you did throw in there where if you got a better solution, I guess. But the same logic y'all using now is the same reason why Jason Witten got 3 more years of being a Dallas Cowboy that he shouldn't have got. That's the same logic y'all using with Zeke Elliott. I love Zeke Elliott. No, we all love Zeke Elliott. I can't think of, if you hate Zeke Elliott, I don't know what the reason would be. But it's about winning football games. That's what I'm starting to see there. I think it only matters if our favorite player is doing well or winning. Then it matters. But if that player, then the whole team sucks. But Kellen Moore don't know how to call plays. But he has a second best offense 2 years in a row. But I digress. All I'm saying is, guys, we don't have to hold on to players. Law, I've heard you say this. We don't have to hold on to players. And to say Zeke, look.
Now, when you finish that, it's going to be my turn. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to go now? No, go ahead. All right. So let me know when Jason Witten had a no trade clause on his contract, right? And on top of that, that's what the whole issue with this whole thing, which would make it kind of like it was. So what I'm saying is here. Dak Prescott and my guy Ezekiel Elliott both got these no trade clause on their contract, which make it even more difficult for you to move the money. The money is the problem right now. I hear a little reverb on my end. Reverb.
Y'all love saying, stop talking about the money. So I never bring up the money because I know if y'all get butthurt about me talking about that, y'all will get butthurt about me talking about this money. So I
no, it's put it like this: the money with the cap is the issue. The money that they got paid is not the problem. The money with the cap is the issue. So when people say that, hey, when the argument is that, hey, you're paying a quarterback $40 million a year, why he can't produce? Well, when he's only counting at least 19 one year and 17 another year, that don't mean anything. They don't mean anything because $40 million don't matter when you only counting 17 to $19 million against the cap. So the problem is now is everything is bottle-headed. I think you got me up on another deal, so I'm hearing reverb.
No. Somebody, you. I absolutely. I cut Facebook off, so it's probably you.
All right, hold on. Y'all hear echo? Nevertheless, here's the problem. We can't move on from Dak nor Ezekiel Elliott without getting hit with the blow of the money right now. The only way you can resolve this is restructure. By Dak Prescott got money still guaranteed on his contract, it would be crazy and idiotic to move on from him. But by Ezekiel Elliott no longer having guaranteed money, you can get rid of him and remove some of those issues. The only problem is right now you would take a big blow heading into 2023 because you don't know who will be willing to replace him. I don't know who the Cowboys are going to go out there to get. It will be better to sit back and wait and go through the draft first. Draft a person, make sure that person is equivalent at some form or level of an Ezekiel Elliott, and then get rid of him. But you better not do it now. It's too soon.
No, I don't disagree. Well, I'm not talking about Dak no more, so I'm done talking about him. But I don't disagrry with that. My only point is we have to explore this option. Let's stop talking like this shouldn't be an option. And will you give me this? It's easier to play running back than it is like wide receiver or quarterback, right? Like as a rookie, right?
It's an easier transition. We don't know. We don't. It's an easier transition, not easy to play.
So is it an easier transition? Yes. Is that yes?
Yes, depending on the scheme and the system, it's an easier transition to go from playing running back to the NFL, from the college level to the NFL level. It's an easier transition.
So my point is, it's like we can let's get another. I'm not saying let Zeke go, but maybe he could be our third down back or something, or our third back. Like, he could do blitz pickup. He great at that. He great inside the 5. But let's get some new blood in there, too. How about them Cowboys, man? Hopefully we just, to me, go all in on defense. Let's go get a receiver. Let's get a running back. And, man, I think we'll be on our way. How about them Cowboys? Love y'all next year.
No doubt, no doubt. There's Brandon Ross over there. It was an easier transition. So my thing is, the money will always be the money. But the problem is when you have cap and limitations with the money. It is right now, in order for the Cowboys to make necessary moves to improve this team, you're going to have to extend or restructure. Now, by Ezekiel Elliott camp, really reluctant to be like, hey, man, we get rid of some money. No, they're going to go over everything, and they're going to weigh their options. Is it better to take less money to stay in Dallas, or is it better to just have the Cowboys to eat some of this money, cut Ezekiel Elliott, and Ezekiel Elliott test the market himself? Those are the options. Now, unless there's some type of breaking news of Ezekiel Elliott removing the trade clause, right, and saying, okay, now you can shop me, that would be a situation that I believe that more teams would look at it and say, nah, we would rather draft, because nobody want to give up capital for Ezekiel Elliott. I'm going to tell y'all that straight up. You see what I'm going at now with that? But like what Antoine says, running back should have a separate cap, Average lifespan of a running back is 3 years. An elite running back may be 5 to 6. So you're right with that. I got from the 409. What's on your mind?
What's up, Law?
Nothing to it, Chief. Talk to me, man.
All right, I gotta get you for this capping you doing right now, man. About your man Ezekiel Elliott. All right, so you saying Zeke not the same because he got Kellen Moore, right?
That's correct. We seen some drop off. Hold on. Who else we seen drop off on this team since Kellen Moore got here from the running back situation? You seeing that everybody else improve? You saying that his offensive line improved?
I'm not about to Kellen Moore though.
Okay. That would have sounded like you said meat cabbage. You like, well, hey man, it's Zeke and Dak problem, man. That's the reason why Kellen Moore should still be here.
I love Dak. I'm just saying I love Zeke too, but he wasn't Kellen Moore the offensive coordinator in 2019.
He was.
All right, what was Zeke numbers then?
Here it is right here. I pulled up his chart earlier, and his numbers went down. 2019, his yards per game went from 95 to 84.8. Attempts went from 20 to 18. That's 2 less attempts collectively. And it went down from there. Go ahead.
But he had 12 touchdowns though.
This past season, he did have 12 touchdowns. Are you talking about 2019? Yeah.
Yeah, 2019. All right, that's just my example of him producing with Kellen Moore before, because I think he just fell off the cliff after 2019. I don't think he's the same running back.
And why is that?
Because, all right, I'm not about to kill him more, but since 2019, whenever we'll see Zeke get about a good 6 to 8 yards, I think I'll say to myself, man, Tony Pollard would have probably scored right there, or he would have got 20 yards. That's just my opinion. Or another explosive running back.
I'm listening to you, man. You building your case. You're building your case on Ezekiel Elliott being removed from this team, right?
Yeah.
Keep going.
All right. Then you compare replacing Dak as the same as replacing Zeke. But it's not easier to find another top 10 quarterback. But it's way easier to find another running back that can produce at what Zeke doing. And I understand the blocking standpoint, but I think they got some backs that block just as good. Well, not just as good, but will do the job and won't get that killed out there in this draft or in free agency.
Who was on the field when Dak Prescott broke his thumb?
Tony Pollard.
Okay, I rest my case. I don't have to go into more details of who was on the field when Tony Romo broke his shoulder and collarbone.
Jones, but all right. Saying it like that.
Well, I'm saying it like this right here. When you talking about blocking and the things that we don't see, right? It's the intangibles. I'm not saying that Tony Pollard was the reason why Dak Prescott broke his thumb, but what I'm saying is who in the hell gonna block for Dak Prescott next year? You're gonna have Tony Pollard and who else? If Tony Pollard gonna be your lead blocker, who's gonna be? If you Tony Pollard gonna be your leading and starting running back in the 2022-2023 season, who's gonna be out there?
I would split hairs with him, but my solution would be to grab somebody like Kendrick Miller, because he can pass block really well. Tank Bigsby, he can too.
So Tony gonna still be your number 2 running back, or he's gonna be your number 1?
He gonna get the. I would like Tony Pollard to have the second most carries in the offense. Cause I would like him more just to catch the ball rather than run it.
It's still the unknown. What I'm saying here is we probably could be talking about the same thing. You go into a year where you're overhauling your offensive coordinator, your offensive line, because your offensive line, you don't have the same offensive line coach that you had last season, right? You're going to have a new offensive coordinator, which is Brian Schottenheimer, or mixed in with the dude Mike McCarthy, and you're going to have a new offensive line coach, different philosophies, and then you're going to have a whole new offensive backfield as it relates to the running game. I would prefer to lean on this is how it is. If Ezekiel Elliott don't refuse to do the pay cut, you still there? If Ezekiel Elliott refuses to do the pay cut, I get all of that. You cut him. You say, kumbaya, it's not worth $16 million. I all agree with that. But if he's willing to take the pay cut, you keep Zeke. You go into this draft. You go find that man that can be inserted in on this team. I get it. I like Tony Pollard. I love the fact of what Malik Davis can do, but those are still the unknowns. And you go out there and you grab that running back and you insert him in. That is exactly what Coach Marv said. You know, we like everybody liked Isaiah Pacheco, but he wasn't the starting running back week 1. They gradually moved him into this thing. And what the Cowboys, what we can't do is say, okay, we gonna draft the guy and make him the number 1 running back. I don't want that to happen.
I hear you about the Isaiah Pacheco too, because people don't realize that Jared McKinnon, that's the one that keep people off of Patrick Mahomes.
There you go. And he's a 4-3 guy. Yeah, he's a 4-3 guy, and he was a guy that bounced the team. I think he played for the Niners, the Minnesota Vikings, and then he got over there to the Kansas City Chiefs, if my memory serves me correct.
Yeah, he a good. I think he a better pass blocker than Zeke right now too.
Well, I ain't gonna go.
You go look at it.
Yeah, we could go that far, but yeah, I feel you though, fam. What I'm saying is that just make sure we cross our T's and dot our I's. That's all I'm saying. I'm just fighting for the fact that hey, you just want to keep things at least jailed because you still don't know. You don't know what Tony Pollard gonna look like coming off of his injury. We don't.
Yeah.
That's still the unknown. So that's what I'm saying.
I think you can find. I think you can find his replacement. I mean, his production with less money, like you say, just take a pay cut. But it would have to be a disrespectful pay cut.
We'll find out, man, what they do with that, man. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for calling in. What's your name?
Miles.
Miles. Okay.
I'm Your BlueTube in the comments.
Okay, hold on. Let me save you in here, Miles. You know, I got you in here, Miles. Appreciate you, Fram.
All right, appreciate it.
Good call from. So y'all still think I'm capping over here? Where am I wrong at? Right? Where am I wrong at? You know, I want to know where's my capping at? You know what I'm saying? I should have asked you where was I wrong. I left that out. But where is Law Nation capping? Look, you can't go buy a house just off of your just off your credit score. Just because you got a 630 or 700 credit score, you can't go buy a house. You can't go buy a house. You can't go buy a house even if you have $20,000 liquid cash in the bank with a 700 credit score. If your credit history is not long enough, the underwriters would say, yeah, you can make it put down $15,000 of earnest money, but it's still not enough of the type of house you're trying to purchase, especially if it's $250,000 home. But what people tend to do is they look at it like, oh man, I got a 700 credit score. I got about $10,000 in the bank. I should be able to buy the house that I want. And they will say, well, hey, wait a minute. You only been on your job for 1 year. But I make $100,000 a year. Yeah, but it's only 1 year. Your credit worthiness, your financial history is not long enough. Unfortunately, we're going to have to decline you for this until you can present a longer history. A longer history of income coming in at that rate. But I made $100,000. That don't mean nothing to us. That could be gone. And Tony Pollard don't have a long history to stand alone by himself. And the Cowboys don't have a good resume as it relates to paying these guys with these franchise tag. It's pretty much crippling the team. Franchise tag, when I say this over and over again, cripples the team more than anything. Those franchise tags are terrible. Don't y'all know in the last 4 years who counted more against the cap than any player? DeMarcus Lawrence counted more against the cap than any guy on this team. Why? Because the contract was always faltered. We franchise tagged that brother twice, I believe, and then gave him the long-term deal. We had $94 million in 2019 available to spend freely into the year of 2020. We franchise tagged the quarterback. He played about 5 games out for the season. And we still talking about Zeke. We gave that man $90 million guaranteed. We paid that before you paid the quarterback. Principles, man. If you don't have them, you sinking. You sinking. And nobody want to hear this. But we blame the players for the decisions of the front office on where they built their house. You remember the story with the 3 little pigs? We building our houses with straw, hay, and pieces of wood, and expecting it to have the results of someone building their houses with concrete, bricks. It's shaky foundation. How is Pollard is unproven? He's still the unknown. Pollard is the unknown. He's unproven because you are now, look, you answered, Even bringing up franchise tag proves that he's unproven. Fam, you don't franchise tag players that you have faith in. That is the reality. Expose your hand. It's bad principles. It's dating a girl for 3 or 4 years and say, well, here's the promissory ring, meaning that you're not willing to commit. If they believe it in Tony Pollard, it would have been a contract last year. If they believed in Donovan Wilson, it would have been a contract last year. The franchise tag says, hey, do what you did last year for me again. And then we will reconsider whether or not paying you for it and going forward from there. But the facts of the matter is, when given a boatloads of carries for Tony Pollard, he get hurt. Whether it's his fault or not. Freak accident this past season is not all his fault, but that's just how it goes. It's the price of doing business. And here's the truths right here. Here's the truth right here. If you trust your system, you wouldn't have paid Zeke the first time around. If you trust your system, we wouldn't be having these conversations right now. They would have been got rid of Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, whoever. They would have said, we trust our system. They could put Law back there and he can give you 1,000 yards. So it's a twofold situation. It's from the 602, you're live.
My bad, Law. I had you muted.
You had me muted, but you give.
It's all good. This DP Johnson from Arizona. What's going on with you, Law?
Man, all is well. All is well.
That's good to hear. I'm kind of conflicted on this whole running back thing, man. The Cowboy fan in me say I don't want to lose Tony. But then the football fan in me made me want to be more rational. You know, I look at Sportback, his market value is only at 9 and the cap is 10, so I'm against that. I'd rather give him a 3-year, $27 million like Sportback recommend, but at the same time, like you said, we really don't know how much of a load Tony can handle.
We don't.
Here's the brave man. I do want to take a step back and say that's the Kellen Moore effect. You know, a lot of people have rationalized and got to the point of accepting that Kellen Moore kind of sabotaged Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Kellen, in my opinion, was sent out here to kill all the big contracts.
Ooh, the assassin.
His number one was to kill Zeke's big contract. And his numbers started going down. Every year Kellen was in charge, got less and less carries. And we've been wanting to see him get these 14s and these 1,500 yards. Well, I'm down to half my carries now. I'm not going to get there.
No, you ain't going to get that. You definitely ain't going to get it.
He's an old school bell cow back. I get my yards because I wear on you with my physicality. And then in the fourth quarters when I'm getting my long runs. But he's not getting to that number of carries to start getting those long runs anymore. He got his long runs on carries 18 through 25. He's barely getting it to 15 now.
Yep.
So his style did not fit the offense. That's what Kellen Moore did. As the offensive coordinator, it's your job to maximize your play. And Kellen Moore did not do that for Zeke nor Tony. So it's really hard to say what either one of them is going to be in the future.
Here's the fight with it all. Both guys been devalued their entire career.
Yes.
Dak Prescott, they said, hey, it's because of Zeke. And then if it's Dak, look, here's how I'm gonna do this. You know how a pyramid scheme is? Dak Prescott is good because of Zeke. Zeke is good because of the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? And the offense is good because, the philosophy of Jason Garrett. They was praising Jason Garrett of rebuilding and building the offensive line. The reality of it is that fans bought into that. And everybody, mama, uncle, cousin was saying that this is the best offensive line in the National Football League, meaning that any running back can do what Zeke does and any quarterback can do what Dak does, right? So it's exactly the same circle that everybody continue to say, and the reality of it is that we haven't been the same since Callahan left. Not Scott Linehan, Callahan. We haven't been the same since that guy left because we haven't had any scheme, any system with our philosophy. Now, granted, Scott Linehan is better caller on running plays and run design than Kellen Moore. But it's been the same cycle, and we've been hearing Cowboys got an elite offensive line since 2016. And that's what makes Zeke good because they devalued him, and that what makes Dak Prescott good because that's all what the 4-ladder, 3-ladder network been doing. And me, Law Nation, I'm just an apologist, but keep going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You preaching over there, Largo. I ain't mad at you at all. You ain't said nothing wrong with my information.
Right.
I look at it. I know a lot of folks is going to be mad at me for saying this. But again, I've been trying to do a little bit of looking around. I'm kind of at the point I would rather pay Kareem Hunt 7.5 instead of paying Tony 10. Because at least I know Kareem Hunt can take a full season without getting hurt.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Ooh, see, you starting stuff, man. You starting stuff right there. And
I'm just saying, if everybody's staring at the captain, let's just be real about it. I love Tony Park. I love me some Tony Park. Now that's playmaker TP. But if we're talking about building this team, then let's be responsible, right?
Here's what I want the Cowboys to do. You can literally get all three. But you got to you got to understand, block out the outside noise, run away from the franchise tag. You can sign Kareem Hunt because here's what the truth that we know right now. Zeke might get hurt next season again, and Tony Pollard, he's been hurt for the last 2 seasons that we've seen him, right? We don't know if he can go a full round or what have you. So the best way is still the unknown with Malik Davis. But I would prefer if you go into this situation on the free agency on the front end, you pick up Kareem Hunt. You sign him to a 2 or 3 year deal. You go out there and you look at Tony Pollard and say, hey, we value you. That's why we don't want to franchise tag you. We value you as an elite weapon, right? I'm not going to say runner. He's just a weapon. We got you. We talked to Ezekiel Elliott. If you don't come down from this price, we're going to roll out with Kareem Hunt and Tony Pollard. We going into this draft. So you come down from this price, and if he don't, then you just say, okay, we fight with him. We fight with him all the way to the draft. They go draft a running back, not in the first round, not in the second round, because, dog it, we need pieces in that first and second round that's more valuable than a running back. But maybe you go into the 4th and the 5th round and you draft another running back, right?
Yeah.
So you remove all issues with these running backs getting hurt in week 16 and 17. That would be the best. That would be the best situation, in my opinion.
Well, see, that's
and you got a hell of an insurance pocket. You got a hell of an insurance plan with Hunt, right?
Yes, sir. And you got to remember, Hunt been playing number 2 in Cleveland, but that's because of the little trouble he got into a couple years ago. He was toting that hall in Kansas City, doing a good job of it before all that mess happened in his personal life, you know?
Yeah.
So
and hold on. My guy Big Sarge says no law. I would rather draft a running back than sign a running back in free agency. Here's my only thing about that: when the free agency season open up, your crop of running backs goes like this, right? While you were waiting, you know what I'm saying? You might as well, you know, that Kareem Hunt now he gonna sign with the Eagles, or he signed with the Washington team, or he signed with another team, right? So you got to go in, and play, right?
Yes, sir.
You got to go in and play early.
Let me roll with you on that one too, because we got this boy Shotty. He coming in. He loves to run that rock, and he got good running schemes.
Right.
But he also likes committees.
Yeah,
just
committee.
like Mike McCarthy. So we want to have multiple running backs. Yeah, I want to draft the running back too, and I hope I get something out of him. But realistically, Malik's gonna have to play next year, and I'm hoping we can bring Tony back. But I want to have another vet in the room.
Yeah, and you know the craziest thing is
Zeke is a wild card.
Zeke is the wild card.
I don't know what his agency is gonna come back and try to tell him this is what we think you can do, and what switch that's gonna make him want to go with it. So
one thing I do know for sure though, fam, Zeke agency is smarter than the Jones family.
They are.
They smarter.
If you think about it, Zeke got his contract year 3.
Yeah.
But they made it a true extension. That way he was able to get all that rookie money and then start this money over. That's a win on his agency. That's part of the reason why we're in the problem we're in now. If they had started his money then, we'd already been through his guaranteed money.
Talk to him, man.
That was his agency getting that win.
Yeah. So
you know, Stephen Jones been getting whooped ever since he took over.
Yeah, when was the only contract the Jones family won, in my opinion, they won with the LVE contract. Since we all want to talk about contract, I think they won on the LVE contract that hey, okay, we pay you 2.5, you come on out, LVE, keep it live, you know what I'm saying?
$2 million to make you a captain.
And they removed they removed the 5th-year option and they gave, so they won with that one. But name me another contract that they won. They won with the Tyron Smith contract a little bit, but now they losing. Now they losing with the Tyron Smith contract. Yeah.
Tyron asked for them. You can't even give him credit for it. Tyron asked for that contract.
Oh, he asked for that long contract in his youth.
Remember Tyron when he first got drafted, he came back in the office 2.5 years later and said, "Look, my family's crazy. I need an extension. Please, I can't have all this mess and all that." And that's why he got that big loan money in the players. The Players Association was mad because they said, "Bro, you hurting the whole league with this because you're suppressing left tackles for the next 10 years because you're the best in the game and you underpaid 2 years from now."
Yeah. Ooh. Damn, dog. You right on that. So who else? Who won? When the Jones family won with the contract though? I want to know, y'all. Nobody can find out when.
No.
I'm trying to really win. I'm trying to think, man, when they really say, I think they want the Sean Lee's contract. Yeah.
No.
That wasn't a good one. Was that a good one? LVE is the only contract they don't won with.
Robert Quinn.
Robert Quinn.
One they won with. Yeah.
Yeah, they won that one. Yeah, they won that one because he disappeared when he went to Chicago that 1 year, but then he kind of elevated his game that 1 year.
Yeah. But you know what, Robert Quinn to me, he kind of proved like the same thing with Dante Fowler, man. You can't always judge a dude 1 year at a time without looking at his surroundings.
Okay, true that. Man, this is a good call, man. You the last caller, but man, this was a real good one, and I love the objectivity of it, the objective analysis, but we're going to have to get better in writing these contracts, man. We do a good job of accumulating talent, as far as the draft situation. But we get whooped on the back end.
Void years on the contracts? Are they still allowed to use those void years on the contract?
Those voidable years, yeah, but they're going to have to restructure and extend for Dak, though, because that's 49, man. I love my team. We much love to Dak Prescott. But 49, one big hit, that kills everything, dog. So they're gonna have to
work. Ain't no way Stephen Jones gonna let Dak sit on $49 million. He gonna get extended. He gonna have to. We're gonna have to flip some of these switches just to get some room so we can move and shake. To be honest with you, what I really hope is that Jerry Jones asked Steven to sit his butt down and say, let me just see what Will do. Let him and Mike get together. Let me see what they do.
Yeah, that will be.
There might be a fantasy land on that one, Law, but that's what I want.
Who? What will happen first? Eric Bieniemy becoming a head coach, or Will McClay being a general manager for the Cowboys?
Law, if I knew that, I'd already won that Powerball when it was over a billion.
Man, hey, part of me is like, man, I don't want Washington to get Eric Bieniemy because I'm seeing Jahan Dotson, I'm seeing with Sam Howell, what he can do, and the host of weapons that they got with Terry McLaurin. I don't want him to do a lateral over there. You know, be your old man, Eric Bieniemy. Don't go over here to Washington.
Yeah, I don't want him to go to Washington either. The thing that gives me hope is Washington don't know how to find a quarterback worth nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Sam did look pretty decent that last game, though. You know, you saw what he did to us. But that was getting Trayvon Mullen, though.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't know, man. Come on, it's to me, Eric Bieniemy should have been the coach of the Cardinals, though. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think he should have been. I don't know what's wrong with Arizona. I'm in Arizona. I've never been a fan of that franchise.
Right.
As a child, I was so happy when they took Phoenix off the logo, but then they put my whole state on it, and I was really irritated.
Oh, wow.
But what do you think about, because I've heard a couple people mention it. I know the brother struggled out there when we tried to give him a shot at CB2. But, you know, KJ did play free safety at Kentucky as well. Mm-hmm. And he surely would have a lot more range than what we was getting over the top this year. What do you think about maybe giving him and Israel both a shot to step back there and earn some more playing time?
I feel you on that. The problem with KJ is she's reps, right? And we know that he's a physical guy. He's a press corner. But he did play free safety in college or what have you, and he do got some range. He got speed. We can see that. That means that you will be moving on from Malik Hooker, right? And you roll in with the youth. You drafted Kevin Joseph for a reason, and Izzy for a reason. That means that you probably will not re-up Donovan Wilson. No, man. I figure out a way to re-up Donovan Wilson. Kevin Joseph is what year for Kevin Joseph? It's not a contract year. It's contract year for him now, right? It's contract year for him. All right, so
it's going to be his third. But I don't understand why you would say us moving him over there just to compete would stop us from signing Donovan.
It's a lot of people, man. You got all right. So it's a contract year now for J-Rock. It's contract year for J-Rock, right? And you don't
J-Rock and Hook.
Huh?
It's a contract year for J-Rock and Hook.
Okay, so you're not going to cut those guys. You're not going to cut those guys. So what?
You're not going to cut them, but you put people over there to compete with them, so that in the event that you lose them, you already have somebody that knows the spot.
I don't. All right, so a lot of people saying Marquise Bell, right? Do you think KJ can beat out Marquise Bell and Donovan Wilson and Izzy and Hooker?
I'm not saying that I know he can beat him out. I'm just saying put him in a different room and give him a chance to earn his money. Because special teams is pissing people off. He's great on special teams. But nobody wants to sit around there who only does special teams.
Yeah. Damn,
I'm just saying put him in a different room. I'm not saying to give the spot to nobody. Just put him in a different room and let him compete.
Just a different room. But what if he think that, hey, you know, I just still want to continue to compete for that outside cornerback role? Because we are really thin at cornerback right now. Who you got at cornerback? Trayvon Diggs, Bland?
Yeah.
And Kelvin Joseph, no Sean Wright.
I mean, I like Nashawn Wright. I'll be honest with you. I like Nashawn Wright. And I think Nashawn has shown enough that we should allow him to continue to develop.
See.
You know, KJ, again, I just think that maybe giving him a chance at free safety might give him a chance to live up to his draft status instead of having to be labeled a bust. That's my only motivation with that.
Yeah, man, it's good.
I'm really scratching my head with Izzy, because Izzy looked good when he had to play J-Rock's spot, but he also looked good full time in that slot too. I'm not sure really what to do with Izzy other than keep him. I don't know really what to say, you know, he is, other than to say he's just a defensive animal out there.
There's two things that's going to change my mind about Kelvin Joseph and all what we just talked about. Right?
What's that?
This free agency, because you can get Adrian Amos, and, you know, you be like, yeah, I like Donovan Wilson, but Adrian Amos is right there now. You know what I'm saying? Or you can go into the draft or what have you, and it can change a whole bunch of things. Like if you draft a Joe Reporter Jr., or if Cam Smith fool around and fall to you with the 26th pick, we now looking at this whole dynamic differently, right? We looking at it like, okay, we gonna have Bland back inside, and we're going to groom Cam Smith to be on the outside, and then we should be start working on Trayvon Diggs' contract, right? So it's so many things that we can look at. Jalen Ramsey out there in the free agent market. Well, he's out there because the team may be too far over the cap, as well as let's say, for example, Marshawn Lattimore. You know what I'm saying? He's getting paid $18 to $19 million a year. The Saints $60 million over the cap. So it's so many things that can change my mind about Kelvin Joseph and even about Izzy. So it's a lot of things. It's too soon right now, bro, for real.
Can I say something about one of them boys you brought up?
Talk to me.
The corner, big name boy you just said.
Lattimore, Saints?
No, right before him. Right,
Ramsey?
Not Lattimore. Ramsey, yeah. Hey,
Oh, Byron Jones, too. Let me throw that in there while you're thinking. Byron Jones. He might be a cap casualty. We'll keep going.
I would. Any of them boys, anybody would be lucky to have. Ramsey, though, if you ask me, he's getting to the point of being overrated, man. He's more of a name player than he is a game changer at this point. You know, he still plays some good ball, but man, come on, man. We was watching Michael Gallup whoop on that boy a couple years ago.
Yeah, but
he's getting old and failing to get more interceptions that much longer. You know what I mean?
My thing is, you know what I'm about to say.
What's that?
Is he better than Anthony Brown? Is he better?
And that's why I said anybody be lucky to have one of them boys.
You know what I'm saying? Is he better than Trayvon Mullen? Is he better than what we had on the other side of Diggs? So I'm looking at it from that perspective. Now, he may be washed up completely from what he used to be, just like we had a conversation with Zeke. But is he better solution than what we had this past season?
Since you want to go there, then what about Marcus Peters? Because he had under $7 million right now for his market value.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt bringing him in for a cup of coffee, you know. So
Marcus Peters is a highway robbery man. You got to think with our pass rush, he might be able to go ahead and do a little bit better over there on the second side.
Yeah, but
especially knowing they're coming at him, bro. They coming at you.
You got two digs out there. Nobody tackling. But I feel you though. You know. Yeah, I want an enforcer, man. You know, you got foresight, and then you got person with cutback responsibilities and things like that when you developing your scheme. This is a good conversation, fam. I would say collectively, we're gonna need. I think that Parsons. He said that he would love to have a big body cornerback. And what he mean about that is a guy that can come down and press, redirect, kind of like a younger version of Xavier Howard that we have on this team. Not Xavier Howard. What's the guy's name that we have on this team now? Xavier Rhodes. Yeah, Xavier Rhodes. So, kind of like that. You know, you bring in somebody like that. I would go with a poor man's Jalen Ramsey, like a Byram Jones or someone that would be better than what other options we have right now. But I'll keep Bland inside though, y'all.
That's who Bland is.
Who?
The thing is, we like him in the slot because that's where he got his first starter reps when Jay Lou went down.
Right.
But that's who Bland is. If you go all the way back to the preseason and watch the tape, he was on the outside in the preseason. And look, every bit as good as he did in the playoffs against Tampa Bay.
Yeah. But then you have you had the slot voided. Yeah.
He's a long arm, heavy-handed corner.
Uh-huh.
He's gonna press you. He's gonna push you toward that sideline. He's gonna get inside position, and then he's gonna stride for stride with you down the field. If you come his way in a run or a pass, Bland ready to hit something. That's exactly who he is.
Shoot, boy. Well, we can talk ball all day. Man, what's your name again, fam? Let me lock you in. You know.
Man, this DP Johnson, man.
Spanky Johnson.
DP.
BP Johnson. Okay.
D.
All right, man.
I made after a bottle of champagne, man. DP.
BP, I got you, man. Yeah. Somebody sent me this in the mail too, man. I haven't even cracked it open yet. But I appreciate it. But appreciate you, man, so much, man. When we go circle back of talking DBs, man, BP, be sure to call in, bro, because I want to get your insight some more of this stuff, man. Appreciate you, bro.
All right. You have a good day, love.
You as well, man. All right. I'm going to get on up out of here. Me and BP, we'd have been talking all day about everything, man.
Goodbye.
Spanky. Y'all named that movie where I got it from, man. Spanky. You know? DP, not BP. Okay. Delta Papa Johnson. Okay, I put BP. Okay, I'm going to make sure I go back in and put in DP. Y'all know I'm hard of hearing over here. Cowboy Nation, even though we may disagree with a lot of things, and even look, I know I'm getting tons of hate mail and everything about Ezekiel Elliott apologists, Dak Prescott apologists, or falling in love with players. It's not the same. It is exactly not the same from what happened before with this team, because of the fact that how everything is pretty much structured with the doggone salary cap. And what I'm thinking, what plays a major role is the no trade clause on the contracts, and on top of that, the timing of it. You know, it would be a no-brainer, man, if we got Kellen Moore for this 2023 season, and everybody talking about, hey, you know, it would been a no-brainer, because I'll be looking at it like, shoot, Zeke is going to look terrible with this particular philosophy and scheme, because there's none. It's going to always be a non-balance. Like, let's be real. Is Ezekiel Elliott better than Carson's, you know, from the Seattle Seahawks? I think he is, you know. Even last year, you know, running the way he was running, he would have been better than Carson's, you know. And I hope all is well with Carson. I know he's no longer eligible to play football again. I think that if that's the same Carson's. So I'm just looking at it from that aspect. Now, Tony Pollard. Is Tony Pollard explosive? Yes. Y'all remember me and my brother, we was going back and forth about Tony Pollard versus Christian McCaffrey. And I was going blow for blow saying that, hey, I would rather have Tony Pollard than Christian McCaffrey. But what helped Christian McCaffrey out even more was when he went to the 49ers, to a system even more available for him, right? So that he can showcase his talent and things like that. And Christian McCaffrey was having a pretty, all right year with the Carolina Panthers, but it wasn't like what he was doing for those spoonful of games, well, multiple games that he was doing with 49ers. It kind of rejuvenated him. So I'm looking at it like this. Systems do play a major role. It do. And how you play and how you operate do. It's VP Johnson. What's your name? Is it DP? I went from BP to DP to VP. We're going to call you VIP Johnson then. How about that? Appreciate y'all so much, man. Yes, indeed. Well, they say when the end comes for me, let it find me conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. That's Jim Rowan. Tell me not in mourn for numbers. Life is but an empty dream, for a soul is dead, and things are not what they seem. Life is real, and life is earnest, and the grave is not his goal. Dust thou art, to dust returneth, was not even spoken of the soul. In his broad fields of battle and bivouacs of life, be not like little Dallas Cowboys that's in the chat. Be like a hero in the strife. Lives of great men all remind us we can live our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints on the mighty sands of time. For your mind, I hope you guys understand that in your toughest moments and in your toughest battles, there's a storyline of a man that was walking along the beach, and he got a chance to talk to the Creator. And the footprints represent the times of his life. And he told the Creator, how dare you? How dare you? I see two sets of footprints all through my life and all through my journey. But in my toughest times and in my roughest times, there's only one set of footprints. How dare you turn your back on me when I needed you the most? And the Creator told the guy with the footprints in the sand, the reason why you only see one set is because that is when I was carrying you. Who are you carrying, ladies and gentlemen, when they are in their downtime, when they are going through their trials and tribulations, when they are in their worst moments? Who are you carrying too? I hope you guys understand that. But most importantly, write this down. I've been saying this for years. And it's about determinations of your heart, soul, and sinew, and on top of that, your mind. I was just playing with little Dallas Cowboy. I appreciate him all the way. Shout out to you, Stargazer, Sadiqua, Rico. Appreciate y'all so much. But on my way out, write this down. How bad do you want it? If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad that you don't get tired, and it makes you all hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, and plan, and lose all terror of your mind, if you will simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength, and scarcity, with faith, hope, and confidence. If neither cold poverty or famish or fame or sickness of body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty, you will get it. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. We up out. Let me check on the Eagles fans one more time, man. One more time, man. Y'all all right over there? Come on now. Somebody go give them a napkin or something. Some tissue. I will be picking on them all year. One love, man. If I offended anyone, charge it to my head, not my heart. Let's roll those cribs. Jameer Gibbs with the 26th pick, baby. Jerry Lombardi, Coach Marv, Zach, Mr. Wright, Antoine, Canard, J. D. USMC, Common Sense, Sam. Oh, Sam. From Wakanda. Robinson, appreciate you. It's Wyman7. Appreciate y'all. Let's go. Go get the honey badger. That's from Big A. If you watch it and you have not hit that like button nor shared this content, come on, man. Shame on y'all, man. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. I'm off all this week and Monday. Shoot. Let's go. Happy birthday to all birthday people born in this month too. Shout out to your noble royalty. Go get that bird.
He needs some milk.
Kelly Price. Sadiq, appreciate you. Sadiq, you hit me up about Zay Flowers. He would be nice for this offense. He would be, but I don't think the Cowboys would go that way. Shout out to KaVontae Turpin too, by the way. Y'all be surprised what KaVontae can do for you. 5, 4, 3, 2. Come on. By popular demand. Breaking news.
We answered. I talked stuff. I thought we had it. But it goes to show you who's the better team. And I'm sticking Cowboys.
You're crying.
You're crying.
I'm hurt. I love my Eagles. I don't believe it.
You gonna flap the hat one more time for the Eagles for the hard fight they did?
Life like this, I wish.
Let's go Birds, fly, Eagles, fly. Still Super Bowl chance for that.
You're crying. Monte! I'm getting too old for this, Monty. Go, y'all better go watch some Lethal Weapon, man. Hurts! Hold on to the ball, Hurts! You fumbling. Lord, at least they had a chance to do that there, you know what I mean? Hey, show me a picture when the last time y'all was there. Pull out those Polaroids. Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. Two things for certain. You won't find me with a picture of me yelling out, hurts. It hurts. It hurts so bad. The fumble. Monte! Help your boy out.
Like this motherfucker don't miss. No, he's good. That motherfucker don't miss, man. He's good.
All right,
in
man.
the heat of battle, he don't.
Let me get on up out of here, man.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
Some people gonna enjoy the rest of their holiday just for that. They gonna just rewind the clip of me yelling out, Monte! Don't drop the soap, huh? Come on.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Boom. Again, baby. You can tell the NFL got to Zeke. Roger Goodell got to Zeke. You can't even find Zeke looking like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Zeke look like a whole different person, man. I think the Illuminati got to my guy Zeke. It done messed my guy Zeke all the way up, man. I follow.
Wherever you go, whatever you do.
I want me some glory hole.
Who watching Lethal Weapon this weekend? Let me know when you watch it. Just tag one of my videos. Tag one of my videos, man, when you go watch it.
Don't let the street lights keep you all alone. You know it's dangerous to go alone.
I don't know what happened to my stars.
Let the street lights
Hit you.
Can I be your player too?
I follow. Shout out to all of the Cash App warriors. Marquita, thank you for the $25 Cash App. Melvin Rankins, thank you for the $20 Cash App.
If a paper crane can fly,
Shout out to you, boss, for the $1 Cash App. Nelson Navario, the $10 Cash App with a message. Go Cowboys. That helmet is fire. And Alfred Adams, appreciate you for the Cash App. For being so real, speaking facts with love for the nation. I appreciate that message. And then Sean Mack with the Cash App of $5. Man, I appreciate you, man. I thank y'all all for what y'all do for the nation. Hey, if y'all continue to send those Cash Apps, man, I really appreciate it. Maybe one day I can go buy the team and we can be like we were 30 years ago. Ain't that right, Jerry?
I ain't trying to be like 30 years ago. I ain't trying to make no comeback. I'm gone, and I want to stay gone.
No, Jerry, come on, man. You don't want to do that. Come on, man. One love, baby.
You have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough,
21, can you do something for me? Can you hit a little rich flex for me? Then 21.
because you don't know who you're going to meet, who you're going to
Sacrifice, don't give up the fight. Everything will be alright on any given Sunday. Yeah, depend on you. Give your win or lose. You know you got to pay some dues. On Monday, yeah.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look at this.
Hey, did the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year?
So it look like I'm gonna be around here for a while. I ain't trying to be your daddy or nothing, but if you need some advice, feel free to talk to me. On the real, me and your mama are getting real serious.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Beyonce! Come on, baby.
You won't break my soul. You won't break my soul.
words of a fella. They flock together, they make you a sucker.
Just tell him one more time, man.
On the real, me and your mama are getting real serious.
That's real crazy, man. What he said?
So it look like I'm gonna be around here for a while. I ain't trying to be a daddy or nothing. But if you need some advice, feel free to talk to me.
I'm out, man. I'm out. I'm trolled enough, man. Salute, y'all. Let me play it one more time, man. This dude said, me and your mama, he said, feel free. Let me play it one more time.
On the real, me and your mama are getting real serious.
I can only think in his mind, he was like, all right, y'all, I'm gone for real this time, man.
That's where the guts.
Lawrence finally gone, y'all.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Until next time. Law! Where are you, Law? It's been 30 years, Law. Where are you? Time.